Chapter 1602. What did you say? Suyu grabbed Gao Ran's collar in agitation and asked with wide eyes. She'll be executed in 3 days, and the news will be announced tomorrow morning. Huomin's situation is a little special. She confessed and turned herself in, so there's no need for a second trial. Of course, Mayor Song must have something to do with why she was executed so soon. Motherfucker, Suyu cursed in exasperation. Just then, a middle-aged man in a suit walked in. I'm Commander Su's lawyer. I'm here to bail young Master Su out, the man said haughtily. However, as soon as they heard that he was Commander Su's lawyer, the police officers' attitudes immediately softened. Suyu, you can't do this. It's useless. We have to calm down. Saving Huomin is our top priority. What I'm saying is that we should all gather for a meeting. Jixin's back too. Also, we can go find Qin Shu and Dr. Jiang. We can discuss this together. I'm sure we'll find a way. No need. I have my own way. Suyu shook off Gao Ran's hand and left angrily. Suyu had always been dissatisfied with the police's attitude because they never found the so-called truth. Qin Shu and Huomin, two innocent people, went to jail one after another, while the real murderer, Hua Xiqian, got away scot-free. Therefore, Suyu had always been indifferent to the police and even a little disgusted with them. Therefore, he didn't listen to Gao Ran's suggestion that they should all think of a way. After Suyu left, Gao Ran called Qin Shu, but his phone was turned off. Gao Ran immediately called Jixin. Jixin, big brother Gao Ran. Where are you? Sky Blessing Court. Have you contacted your brother-in-law? I contacted him yesterday. Brother-in-law said that he had something to do and would call me when he was done. Oh no. Qin Shu, that idiot. Gao Ran didn't dare to think too much. He immediately ordered his subordinates to investigate Qin Shu's whereabouts. After a long investigation, they discovered that he had last appeared at Seductive Fox. Furthermore, he had only entered and not left, which meant that Qin Shu was still in Seductive Fox. Then, Gao Ran called Rick. Is Qin Shu with you? Yes. Put him on the phone. He can't answer the phone right now, Rick replied faintly. Inconvenient? What did he mean? Is he injured? Gao Ran's heart tightened. No. Then, Qin Shu is with me. He's very safe. I promised Huomin that I wouldn't let anything happen to him, so I've detained him for now. I won't let him fight with Hua Xiqian. After hearing what Rick said, Gao Ran immediately understood what was going on. Then what about Huomin? What do we do? How do we save him? Gao Ran was anxious. I'll send someone to break Huomin out of prison and arrange for her to go to the States to meet with Qin Shu. Meet with Qin Shu in the States, you mean? Gao Ran was a bit surprised. Yes, I'll arrange for Qin Shu to go to the States tomorrow night, because he's Hua Xiqian's target, so he can't stay here for long. This is also Hua Min's idea. All right, I'm clear now. Hearing that Rick had made arrangements, Gao Ran finally let out a sigh of relief. It seemed that the death penalty wasn't a bad thing for Huomin, because before that, he would have a way to save her. Inside a secret room in Seductive Fox, after the anesthetic, Qin Shu gradually woke up. You're awake? Rick sat on the sofa beside him and asked quietly. Chapter 1603. Rick, what are you doing? I'm just following Huomin's orders. Let go of me. I have to save her. Don't worry. I'll save her for you. Rick, you don't understand. As long as Hua Xiqian doesn't die, he'll definitely stop us from saving Mian. Don't worry. I'll save Huomin even if it costs me my life. That's my promise to you, my friend. Qin Shu didn't say anything. He knew that Rick was stubborn and wouldn't change his mind easily once he made up his mind. There's something else I have to tell you. Qin Shu slowly raised his head. What? She's here? Who? Qin Shu didn't know how to react. Lu Yan. She? Qin Shu didn't expect Hua Mian's sister to be here. When did she enter the country? Yesterday, and as soon as she entered the country, she was hunted down and assassinated. It seems like Hua Xiqian knows she's here, so he's been causing trouble for her. Upon hearing this, Qin Shu fell silent again. Anyways, other than you, there are a lot of people who want to save Huomin. Lu Yin, Suyu, and me. All of them. Please believe us. It's not that I don't believe you, Rick. Before Qin Shu could finish his sentence, Rick interrupted him. Tomorrow night, I'll arrange for a private jet to take you to the States. You have to leave first, Huamin ordered. After I save Huamin, I'll take her to the States to meet you. No, I'm not leaving. You have to go. You have no other choice. Then Rick stood up and left. No matter how much Qin Chu yelled, Rick insisted on leaving. After Rick left, Qin Chu began to think about the events of the past few days. Mr. Qin hadn't woken up yet. He was still in a coma after the major surgery. Although the critical period was over, there were still many things to pay attention to in the future, so he decided to go to the United States for treatment. That day, Mama Qin told Qin Chu something that shocked Qin Chu. Huamin was pregnant later. When Mama Qin told him the whole story, Qin Chu calmed down. He guessed that Huamin might have told a white lie to appease his father. Otherwise, why didn't Huamin mention something as important as pregnancy to him? Even Jiang Xiaowei and Zhu Lingling, who were such good friends, didn't know about it. Most importantly, prisoners had to go through strict medical examinations. If Huamin was pregnant, the death penalty would not be carried out. The news had been announced long ago, so Qin Chu thought it was fake. Indeed, because Huamin still didn't know that she was pregnant. Huamin sat quietly in the prison. Her period had been delayed for about 10 days. This had never happened before, but it was a special time. Huamin was a doctor, so she thought that it might be because she had been in a bad mood recently, which caused her endocrine imbalance. Therefore, she still didn't think that she was pregnant. After all, the last time she was with Qin Chu was under such stressful circumstances. And it was just that one time. Huamin, have some fruit. A female prison guard came in with a colorful fruit platter. The other female prisoners were so jealous that they could die. She even had fruit to eat? What kind of treatment was this? When two female prisoners passed by, they glanced at her and began to gossip. Do you know who's locked up in this room? Why is she treated so well? Not only does she have 4 dishes and 1 soup, but she also has fruit. Why is she so special? Chapter 1604. Who knows? I heard she has a powerful background. Anyway, the warden comes to see her every day. But I heard she's a murderer. I don't know who she is. It's strange. I've seen her once. She's pretty and young. What a pity. Thank you. Huamin took the fruit platter and put it on the table. She made the bed neatly behind her. She didn't feel like she was in a prison. She just felt like she was no different from the outside world, except that her movements were restricted. She ate well and slept well. She picked up a piece of kiwi and took a bite. Her stomach felt uncomfortable again. What's wrong? What do you feel uncomfortable? The female prison guard asked with concern. I'm fine. Maybe it's a stomach flu. I'll go get the doctor. Huamin immediately grabbed the female prison guard's hand. No, it's okay. I'm really fine. At this moment, the female prison guard lowered her voice and said, Don't be afraid. I think you'll be fine. You'll be out soon. The warden comes to see you every day. I know you have a powerful background. Actually, I'm not. Huamin didn't know how to explain. She really wasn't the daughter of a high-ranking official, nor was she a high-ranking official. She didn't need these people to look at her as if she was an alien. You don't have to say it. I understand. Anyways, I'll take good care of you. If you need anything, just tell me. Thank you. You're welcome. You eat first. I'll go check around. Then, the female prison guard stood up and left. Huamin, however, didn't have the appetite to eat the fruit anymore. She kept thinking about how Qin Chu was doing. Was he in a hurry? In a dark motel on the outskirts of Sea City, Lu Yin changed into a black suit and high-heeled leather boots. She looked valiant. She pulled the dagger out of her boots, checked it, and put it back. Boss, are we really going to rescue him tonight? Yeah, but speak. But I just checked the almanac. It says it's not a good day to break into the prison. The brawny subordinate looked wronged. Lu Yin looked up and pinched his ear. The almanac says it's not a good day to kill. Do you believe that I can kill you right now? Boss, don't be like this. What I mean is that young Master Qiao has already sent us a message asking you to return to Russia as soon as possible. When have I ever listened to Psycho Qiao? Lu Yin rolled her eyes at him. But young Master Qiao is very scary. I think it's better if we don't go against him too much. Cut the crap. After we rescue them tonight, we'll go back to Australia. After an hour, I'll drink red wine with my sister on a private jet tens of thousands of meters high in the sky. Lu Yin seemed to be in a good mood. At this moment, the door opened and another subordinate walked in. Boss, everything has been arranged. After we blow up the prison, the rescue helicopter will arrive in a minute. Then, we will fly directly into the open sea. They won't be able to catch up with us in time. Very good, let's go. Lu Yin was in high spirits. She was going to blow up the prison tonight to save Huamin. However, she did not expect to be surrounded by people the moment she stepped out of the door before she could even get into the car. Dozens of submachine guns were pointed at her head. A black Porsche was parked in front of the building. The man who got out of the car had a devilishly handsome face under the moonlight. He was wearing a Russian military uniform and had a head of silver hair. He looked mysterious and cold. Young Master Qiao. Lu Yan's subordinates were all dumbfounded. Come with me. He took Lu Yan's hand and walked away, his voice extremely melodious. Psycho Qiao, let go of me. I really can't go back with you. I have to rescue him. Chapter 1605. You have to come with me, the man said firmly. I'm telling you, if anything happens to my sister, I'll kill you. Before Lu Yin could finish, the man replied coldly, Don't worry, your sister will be fine. Even if you don't come, many people will save her. You should be worried about yourself. You can't even save yourself. Why are you still worried about others? I've been living a life of being hunted down for years. I'm used to it. What's there to worry about? Lu Yin didn't care. Since you're so good at gathering information, do you know that Ian came to Sea City? What? Lu Yin looked at Xiao Fei with wide eyes. It seems like you really don't know. Well, when did he come? His plane will land in 3 hours. Are you sure you don't want to run now? Lu Yin, who had promised to save Huamian, was completely dumbfounded. She knew very well who Ian was and how scary he was. He was the demon that her father was very wary of. Psycho Qiao, is your information accurate? Are you sure Ian is coming? The man glanced at her and said, Why don't you stay and have afternoon tea with him in 3 hours? Fuck, are you kidding me? Forget it. I'll go with you. I heard the scenery in Russia is very beautiful at this time of the year. You don't want to leave your sister? Xiao Fei looked at Lu Yin with disdain. Actually, my sister is very popular with men. Even if I don't do anything, many people will save her. For example, the Rick family, the Su family's young master, and that psycho who won't let her die. There are many opportunities to see my sister, so I'm not in a hurry. Lu Yin immediately smiled guiltily. The man seemed to have seen through her thoughts. You're afraid that Ian will find out about your relationship with Huamin, and you'll never have a peaceful life again. After all, you've had enough of these days. You don't want your sister to have to live like this. Can you not be so smart? Boring. So, if you keep talking nonsense, I won't be able to save you when Ian lands. Then, the man shook off her hand and got into the car. Lu Yan's attitude immediately changed. She followed the man into the car and secretly left Sea City. What family mansion, boss? She left. So fast. Yes, someone is here to pick her up. Are you from Russia? Huasiqian smiled. Yes. Hee. No wonder someone treats her so well. What should we do now? Send a message to the other side. Tell them that they have already escaped and don't need to come. Will Godfather get angry? That's not something I should be concerned about. I'm not his subordinate. I'm only responsible for providing information, not helping him, Huasiqian said as he played with the 2 shiny walnuts in his hands. Lu Yin came to Sea City in a hurry, but the news was leaked and she was hunted down. They chased him from a 5-star hotel to a small hotel in the suburbs. If it weren't for Xiao Fei's sudden appearance, she might have really broken out of the prison tonight. At that time, who knows what would happen? It was said that plans couldn't keep up with changes, but who knew that Ian and Huamian were so terrifying that even an explosive like Lu Yin had to be afraid of them. In the end, these international forces left one after another. Sea City returned to its usual tranquility. That night, at the Su family mansion, Mr. Su and Lord Su rushed back from Jing City to deal with Su Yu's assault. Lord Su, on the other hand, was quite calm. He didn't think that his grandson's fight was a big deal. Mr. Su felt like he had lost all face. Mrs. Su called Su Yu and asked him to come back. When he came back, everyone was there. What's going on? Are they going to impeach me? Su Yu walked over to the sofa and sat down. Chapter 1606. Mr. Su immediately reprimanded him. Stand up and talk to me. Su Yu stood up reluctantly. Su Yu, how old are you? Are you a child? Do you know that you're almost 30 years old? It was Su Yu's father who said this. When he scolded Su Yu, he also looked very angry. There's a reason. Su Yu only replied with 4 words. What made you crazy enough to hit someone in front of so many media outlets? And the person you hit is a big shot? Mr. Su questioned. It's a long story. Bastard, how dare you play 4-word idioms with me? Mr. Su was so angry that smoke was about to come out of his mouth. He said a lot, but his son only replied with 4 words. Dad, don't be angry. After Su Yu said these 4 words, Master Lord Su couldn't help but laugh. Dad, you're still laughing. Look at this bastard. How much have you spoiled him? Mr. Su looked at Master Su speechlessly. This kid, he wasn't even so knowledgeable when he was in the army, and now he's playing with ancient poems? Master Lord Su looked at his grandson and smiled. Look at what the newspaper said. They said that you hit the president of the whole corporation because you were jealous. They said that both of you were fighting over a recently popular female celebrity. Is that true? They're making groundless accusations and distorting the truth. You're still playing 4-word idioms with me. Master Lord Su roared. This time it's 8 words, Dad. So you look calm. Mr. Lord Su was about to get up and get angry when Master Su reached out to stop him. You, Grandpa is asking you. Why did you hit someone? I don't like him. This time, it was also 4 words, but it wasn't an idiom. You can't be so willful. Your words and actions represent the entire Su family. Grandpa, I'll take responsibility for my own problems. If they want to lock me up, they can do whatever they want. I'm really not afraid. Bullshit. If they lock you up, it's like slapping my face. How can I not feel bad for my own grandson? I'm not blaming you. I just want to tell you that as a public figure, you can't be so impulsive. I know, Grandpa. I just think men shouldn't argue when they can fight. It's a waste of time. You still have the nerve to say that. Su Yu's father pointed at him angrily and scolded. Son, apologize to your father and admit your mistake. Mrs. Su said gently. I didn't hit my dad. Why should I apologize? Why should I admit my mistake? Su Yu said innocently. Mr. Su was speechless. Lord Su was speechless. Mrs. Su was speechless. Su Yu, I'm telling you, this isn't over yet. Once I'm done with this, you'll scram to Jingdu. You're not allowed to run this stupid entertainment company anymore. Learn how to manage a bank and take over the family business. I'm sorry. President Su, I'm not interested. After speaking, Su Yu got up and walked upstairs to his bedroom. Dad, look at this bastard. What kind of attitude is that? Mr. Su was so angry that he was about to have a heart attack. Su Yu, on the other hand, didn't listen to anything they said. It was as if the family meeting didn't happen at all. He's grown up and has his own thoughts. We can't pressure him too much. After all was said and done, Lord Su was still biased toward his grandson. The next morning, the news that Huamin was going to be executed in 3 days spread all over the country. At 6 in the morning, all the major media outlets were fighting to report on the news. Jiang Xiaowei asked Wei Liao to call Su Yu early in the morning. Then, she asked Gao Ran, Zhu Lingling, and Ji Xin to discuss countermeasures. In the end, Gao Ran told them that Rick was going to break Huamin out of prison. Jiang Xiaowei was very worried. She had a feeling that Hua Xiqian was going to do something. So you didn't say much. Lord Su, say something. Don't keep quiet. We're all worried sick. Tang Chuan was also worried and asked. Chapter 1607. I have nothing to say. It's already like this. You guys chat. I'll leave first. With that, Su Yu got up and left. Lord Su is acting weird today. Tang Chuan said. Is he planning to give up on me on? Zhu Lingling asked with a pout. No, I know him better. He must be desperate to save Huamin. That night, Su Yu drove back to the Su family mansion for dinner after work. At the dinner table, Su Yu's father was still nagging about what happened yesterday. and Su didn't refute. Mrs. Su kept putting food into her son's bowl. Son, eat more. You, play a game of chess with Grandpa after dinner. Okay, Su agreed, which was rare for him. Inside the Su family mansion, Su set up the chessboard and shouted, Grandpa, we can start now. The old man came over to take a look and was slightly surprised. What kind of game are you playing? He was checkmated as soon as he started. Was his grandson setting up a game for him to solve? Just as Lord Su thought of this, he saw Su kneel down in front of him. What are you doing? Grandpa, please, save Huaming. Who's Huaming? Lord Su had obviously forgotten about this. She's the female suspect in the murder case of 327. Nonsense. I told you this is impossible. Our Su family can't interfere, and we can't interfere. Grandpa, I beg you. I haven't begged you for anything all these years, Su gritted his teeth, his eyes red. I really can't do this. You've been messing around all these years, and I've turned a blind eye to it. But this is too big and will involve a lot of things. I'm old, and I really don't want my reputation to be ruined. Master Lord Su's attitude was firm. He turned around and sat in front of the chess table. You're giving me a hard time. General sighed. Master Lord Su looked at the chess game and sighed. 3 seconds of silence. Su silently raised his right hand. A black pistol had appeared in his hand out of nowhere. What are you doing? Master Lord Su's expression changed drastically. Grandfather, if you don't agree, then I can only die in front of you. Bastard, you dare to threaten me? The old general had joined the army at a young age and had worked hard in the army all his life. He had seen all kinds of storms, but now, seeing his grandson pointing a gun at him and threatening him with suicide, Lord Su's heart was trembling. He knew that Su was not a child who liked to scare people. Once he said something, he really dared to do it. That was why he was really scared. Grandfather, 3 seconds. I'll count to 3. Think about it. You can scold me 1,000 times or 10,000 times, but I can't watch her die, Su. Master Lord Su gritted his teeth in anger. 1, 2. When it was almost 3, Su's finger gently pulled the trigger. Stop, I agree. In the end, Master Lord Su lost in this 3-second confrontation. Su finally let out a sigh of relief. Although he knew that his grandfather would definitely agree, it took courage to really pick up a gun and point it at his own head. You brat, you're fucking useless. Don't say that you're my grandson in the future. Master Lord Su was flustered and exasperated. He nodded Su's head and walked out of the chess room. Before chess, Master Lord Su lost first. Inside a prison in Sea City, Huaming. Here, come with me. I'll take you somewhere. Are you going to execute me? Huaming asked faintly. No, we're going to change places. Things have changed. Anyways, you can leave now. The prison guard didn't say much and took Huaming out of the prison in the middle of the night. They secretly escorted him out of the prison in a car. When Mayor Song found out about this, he was so angry that he smashed a tea set worth millions of yuan. Mayor, there's nothing we can do about this. The military is involved. What right does the military have to interfere with our local affairs? Mayor Song was furious. Jing City called. The famous military doctor, Professor Luo, said that Huaming is her only disciple and that he has a military rank. Since he has a military rank, he'll be sent to the military for trial. It's not our business anymore, the bureau chief explained to Mayor Song anxiously. Where's that woman right now? She was taken away by the military. Bang! Mayor Song was so angry that he smashed his phone. Hua family mansion. Boss, there's news from the prison. Miss Hua was just taken away. Who took her away? This time, even Hua Xiqian was shocked. Chapter 1608. The military. The military? Hua Xiqian was slightly surprised at first. Then, he immediately realized who it was. He narrowed his eyes and said in a serious tone, the military actually dared to intervene. It seems like Su put in a lot of effort. Although he knew that Su had a lot of power and influence, the matter of Mayor Song's daughter wasn't that simple. Previously, the military hadn't intervened, so Hua Xiqian thought that Su's grandfather wouldn't help. He didn't expect that at such a critical moment, he would make a move. 2 things could be seen from this. First, Su truly loved Huamin. Second, old Master Su really loved his grandson. That was why he ignored the rumors and his reputation in the military and forcefully intervened in this matter. One had to know that once the Su family got involved in this matter, it would be equivalent to severing ties with the local government. That would be really interesting between them and Mayor Song. For Huamin, Su was going all out. Boss, what should we do now? Should we stop the military's car and snatch her? Huasiqian glanced at his subordinate. Are you fucking crazy? Snatch her from the military? How many brains do you have? I just want to help the boss get Miss Hua back. About this, I'll think about it later. You guys can leave. Yes, sir. After his subordinate left, Huasiqian's face darkened. Previously, he wanted to kill Qin Shu in prison, but that girl Mian ruined it. Now, he wanted to switch Mian and go to the island when the death penalty came. Now it was ruined by Su Yu. Huasiqian's plan had always been flawless. However, it was all messed up by a sudden accident. It seemed like he had to replan everything again. Su Yu was impulsive and didn't think too much about the cause and effect of his actions. Therefore, this kind of person was often the most difficult to deal with. Huamin, on the other hand, was quick-witted. He did it on purpose so that Huasiqian couldn't do anything. This is really enough. Huasiqian snapped the cigarette between his fingers. His eyes were dark and gloomy. Seductive Fox Rick walked into the secret room in a black overcoat. Let me tell you two things. Qin Shu raised his head and slowly looked at Rick. First of all, Mian is out of danger. You don't have to worry. How did you get out of danger? Qin Shu was overjoyed. The military is involved. It's Su Yu's family. Where is she? Where are you now? Qin Shu's eyes flashed. He was very happy. Right now, we don't know where he is. The military is too secretive. But apparently, they will escort Huamin to the military court in Jingdu. It's just a formality, and then we'll talk about the rest. But you just need to know that as long as he's in the hands of the military, nothing will happen to Huamin. HM, I know. Qin Shu finally let out a sigh of relief. Your family is in the States. Your uncle called me. I've already talked to him. I'll take you to the plane in a bit. You have to leave today. I'm not leaving. You have to leave. When Huamin comes back, I'll send him to you. Then, before Qin Shu could protest, Rick waved his hand. His subordinates immediately escorted Qin Shu away. My brother sent a private jet to pick you up in international waters. I'll take you there. Don't worry, get some good sleep. I believe that in a few days, you'll be able to see Huamin in the States. GK has already begun to take over. Your uncle said that the GK headquarters will take over. Don't worry. Rick, I'm taking Mian with me. Chapter 1609. Not yet. We're not sure how long it'll take for Huamian to complete the process. Everyone wants you to go first. Huasiqian's been too quiet lately. So quiet that it's scary. I don't trust him. I'm afraid he'll do something despicable again. You know what? Even Liu Yin was taken away by force. Huasiqian's 6 years of absence. It's not that simple. From now on, we don't have to underestimate him. Even Liu Yin isn't afraid of him. When Rick said this, he was extremely serious. Who was Liu Yin? She was Huamin's biological sister, the most wanted criminal in the world. She was one of the best mercenaries and was used to a hail of bullets since she was young. She always lived a life of being hunted and being hunted. She once caused a huge explosion and killed the leader of a villain in the Middle East. She became famous in the mercenary world after that. It was said that the jobs she took were at least 100 million yuan. She didn't take small jobs at all. The last time she secretly came to Sea City and blew up an underground money house, it was said that she got 150 million yuan. Huasiqian wasn't afraid of such a powerful girl. It was obvious that he knew about Liu Yan's background. He was also confident that she wouldn't kill him. Therefore, Rick didn't think such a person was easy to deal with, so he wouldn't let Qin Shu stay in the city. He had to go to the States first. Everything else could wait. Rick, Qin Shu seemed like he wanted to say something. Bro, have a safe trip. After things calm down, I'll go to the States to find you. Also, when you see my brother, remember to say hi. Rick, who was usually cold and calm, actually smiled. He could finally help Huamin for once, and let Qin Shu leave safely first. Hua Xiqian wouldn't have expected Qin Shu to leave in such a special way. Rick sent him to the international waters in a helicopter, and then someone came to pick him up. The whole process took place in midair. This way, it wouldn't be easy for someone to destroy it. Rick personally sent Qin Shu to the helicopter and then went to the international waters with him. Late at night, a huge black plane was hovering there, and the timing was just right. After confirming that it was his brother's men, Rick transferred Qin Shu safely. Then, he waved goodbye to Qin Shu. Huamin was secretly escorted onto the plane, blindfolded. She didn't know where she was going, but she knew that she was safe. If she stayed in prison, she would be executed in 3 days. It would be best for her to leave now. It was only at a secret organization that Huamin opened his eyes. The moment he saw that person, he was stunned. "Huamin, do you still recognize me?" The old man smiled slightly. "Professor Luo." She was no stranger to this person. He was the most famous doctor in the military region that Su Yu had invited from Jingdu when Qin Shu was shot. Later, Professor Luo liked Hua Min's talent and personally called her to come to Jingdu to take her as his disciple. Hua Min politely refused and never contacted him again. It had been a long time since the incident. It was a big surprise to see Professor Luo again. "Very good. You still remember this old man." "Professor, what's going on? What happened to you?" Hua Min looked surprised. Professor Luo glanced at Hua Min and smiled kindly. "I was asked by Commander Su, Su Yu's grandfather." Hua Min couldn't believe it. He really couldn't believe that such a big shot would personally take action for his own matter. Chapter 16:10. "Yeah, I heard that the commander's grandson is a good friend of yours." "Yeah." Hua Min nodded. "That kid, he's been running around for you. He really pushed the old commander to the brink." "Haha, but I can tell that he's a righteous person." "Then, Professor, I fine now." Hua Min looked at Professor Luo in disbelief. "Yes, you'll be fine now that you're in our hands. Listen carefully. Here's how we're going to save you. I'll announce to the public that you're my only disciple and that you've joined the military with a military rank. The commander has already arranged everything for you. You're now a second-class sergeant on the military medical staff, so no matter what you do, you'll have to go through the military court. But this time, your case is quite serious. You're a murderer, so we can't let you go too openly. You'll stay in Jing City for a few days, and we'll give you a physical checkup. Then, we'll find a loophole and say that you're not feeling well and need medical parole. Once the higher-ups approve it, you can leave here and rest abroad." Hua Min didn't think that such a serious case like this would be so simple for the military. Professor Luo seemed to know what Hua Min was thinking, so he asked, "Are you wondering why the military saved you so easily?" "Yeah." Hua Min nodded honestly. "Little girl, let me tell you, this isn't simple at all. Anyone with a brain knows what's going on. To put it bluntly, it doesn't matter how you get out. What's important is who's protecting you. I've known the commander for so many years, and he's always been open and honest. He's never done anything for personal gain. Even when his grandson was in the military, he didn't make an exception to take care of him or promote him. But this time, he put in so much effort for you. This can only mean one thing." "What is it?" Hua Min looked at Professor Luo in confusion. He successfully threatened his grandfather," Professor Luo said word by word. Hua Min didn't feel good after hearing this. How did Su Yu convince his grandfather about such a big matter? Professor Luo joked. "If you weren't married, I would have thought that you would become the granddaughter-in-law of the Su family." This treatment. Hua Min blushed. "Professor, don't joke around. The Su family is a powerful family. I'm not that lucky." After all, Professor Luo was an elder. She was not used to such jokes. "Okay, since you're clear, you can stay here with peace of mind. You'll have to stay here for the next few days. After the physical examination, we'll come up with a plan and apply for medical parole for you." "Okay, thank you, Professor." "You don't have to thank me. You should thank the commander and Su Yu." After Professor Luo finished speaking, he stood up and left with a smile. Hua Min was sent to a clean and tidy room, which was comparable to a 5-star hotel. The environment was very good. Compared to the prison, it was like heaven and earth. She didn't ask Professor Luo where she was, but since she saw Professor Luo, she guessed that she was in Jing City. Huamin thought about what Professor Luo said and fell into deep thought again. At the same time, she wondered if Rick had left with Qin Chu. Would Xiqian stop him? Would Qin Chu be in danger? Anyways, it was another sleepless night. 4:15 a.m. Rick was awakened by his phone ringing. He looked at the caller ID and immediately woke up. He quickly picked up the phone. "Bro, what's up?" Rick, the other side of the phone, was silent for 5 seconds. Then he heard Lino say in perfect English, "The plane crashed 5 minutes ago in the Pacific Ocean." "What did you say?" Rick felt like he was struck by lightning and couldn't move. Chapter 16:11. The plane crashed. I'm not sure what caused it, but there are only two possibilities. One is that an enemy spy planted a bomb on the plane, and the other is that the plane was attacked. What about Qin Chu? Rick felt like his heart was about to stop. The plane exploded and burned into pieces. The 4 bodyguards, 1 captain, and 2 flight attendants I sent on the plane all died. As for Qin Chu, his whereabouts are unknown. His phone fell to the ground with a thud. Rick was completely dumbfounded. Rick, are you still there? I've already asked the nearest country for help. I'm sure we'll have news soon. Rick. No matter what Reno said, there was no response from Rick. Rick only felt as if something in his heart had cracked open and was spreading. The plane exploded tens of thousands of meters in the air. Even if someone was lucky enough to survive, the sky was so dark. Below them was the deep waters of the Pacific Ocean. How could anyone survive? Rick knew that even though his brother didn't say that Qin Chu was dead, there was a high chance that he was killed. Grief, sadness, self-blame, shock, all kinds of complicated emotions flooded his mind. Rick hugged his head with both hands and collapsed on the bed. He felt like he was going to faint. Suddenly, he couldn't think. If he didn't force Qin Chu onto the plane, nothing would have happened. If he didn't arrange everything on his own, the plane wouldn't have crashed. At that moment, there was only one thought in Rick's mind. I killed Qin Chu. Miss Cece, is Rick here? Boss is inside, but... Rick's subordinate wanted to say something, but stopped. What's wrong? Cece looked worried. Boss is in a bad mood. He's been cooped up in there for the whole day. When Cece came, Rick had been sitting there with his head in his hands for 7 hours. Rick, why didn't you pick up my calls? Cece's voice was gentler than ever. Rick lowered his head and didn't say anything. He looked very depressed. What's wrong? What happened? Cece walked over and held Rick's hand. He slowly looked up. Cece, Qin Chu, he's dead. What kind of joke is this? Cece was shocked. I'm not joking, it's all my fault. The plane crashed. Qin Chu is dead. Rick's voice was hoarse, and his eyes were bloodshot. How did this happen? It must be Xiqian, that bastard. I'm going to kill him. Rick's eyes filled with murderous intent as he spoke. Cece was heartbroken to see him like this. She hugged Rick's neck. Cece, what? How am I going to explain this to Huamion's dead? What am I going to say when she's back? Tears welled up in Rick's eyes. Cece's tears fell as well. Rick, this was an accident. No one wanted this to happen. Although the plane crashed, maybe Qin Chu is still alive. Cece's Cece's. 660 CCM's eyes, after all. Qin's Qin, what should I do? How am I going to explain this to Huamin? Just then, Rick's phone rang. Cece glanced at it and then looked at him. It's Gao Ran. Rick slowly picked up the phone. Hi, Rick. Is Qin Chu in the States? Why can't I reach his number? Chapter 16:12. Gao Ran. Can you help me call everyone over? I have something to tell you. What is it? I'll see you at Seductive Fox in half an hour. Then, Rick hung up the phone. Are you going to tell them? Cece also thought that the truth was too cruel for everyone. Yeah, Rick nodded. He forced himself to stand up. After all, he was the young master of a mafia family. Although Rick was sad, he still pulled himself together. He wanted to tell everyone about this. Otherwise, they would be worried if they couldn't contact Qin Chu. Half an hour later, Wei Liao, Jiang Xiaowei, Gao Ran, Zhu Lingling, Chen Jie, and Ai Yang, Zhixin, Huamin's family and friend were all present. Rick pushed open the door to the private room and walked in wearing a black cashmere coat. He looked extremely haggard. As soon as Jiang Xiaowei saw Rick, she knew that something bad was going to happen. "Rick, do you have something to announce?" Gao Ran asked. Rick nodded slightly. Then he looked around at everyone and said, "I received news that Huamin was released on bail." We already knew that. Don't forget that I'm in the city bureau. Although I'm only the captain of a small criminal police team, I'm pretty well informed. Last night, the military intervened and Huamin was transferred to Jing City by Professor Luo. I knew right away that it was old Master Su's order. I have to commend Lord Su for this. "Hey, where's Su Yu?" Then, Gao Ran realized that Su Yu wasn't here. He was grounded by Lord Su. "I think he was punished," Wei Liao said. "I really need to thank Su Yu for this. Thank goodness he's here. When he comes out, I'm going to treat him to a big meal to thank him for saving me on." Zhu Lingling seemed to be in a good mood. Everyone was still immersed in the news that Huamin was safe. I'm guessing that Huamin will come back safe and sound in less than a week. If he's released on parole, he'll probably have to go abroad. Rick already sent Qin Chu to the States. When Huamin comes back, we'll have dinner with her, and she'll have to go to the States with us. It'll be hard for us to see the couple again, right? Gao Ran looked at everyone with a smile, and then looked at Rick. "Rick, is Qin Chu in America now? We can't get in touch with him," Jiang Xiaowei asked nervously. Rick's face darkened. He swept his gaze across everyone's faces and said quietly, "Qin Chu, he's dead." "What? Are you kidding me?" "Rick, don't try to scare us. It's not funny." Everyone had the same reaction. They all looked at Rick with strange expressions. "I'm not kidding. I never joke. I sent Qin Chu to international waters last night and saw him get on the private plane that my brother arranged for him. He was supposed to arrive in Los Angeles safely today, but last night when the plane was flying over the Pacific Ocean, there was an accident. I'm not sure if it was an external attack or if someone planted a bomb on the plane. Either way, the plane exploded and crashed. The 4 bodyguards, 1 airport attendant, and 2 flight attendants that my brother arranged were all killed. Qin Chu's whereabouts are unknown, but under those circumstances, he's probably dead. That's why I called you guys here today to tell you that Qin Chu is dead." After Rick finished his speech, the entire room fell silent. "Nonsense. I don't believe that my brother-in-law is dead." Jixin was the first to jump up and point at Rick. Chapter 16:13. Rick glanced at him calmly. "I don't want to either, but it's the truth." "How is that possible?" "How? Oh my God." Zhu Lingling burst into tears as soon as she said this. She couldn't stop her tears from bursting out. Jiang Xiaowei also sat there blankly with a pale face. Her eyes gradually became moist. Wei Liao was sad as well, but he still had to take care of the pregnant Jiang Xiaowei. "What if Sister Mian finds out? What should we do?" And Yang sat there in a daze, his hands tightly clenched. Chun Jie held on to Yang's arm and silently cried as well. "Fuck, it must be Huasiqian. I'm going to fight him to the death." Gao Ran finally understood why Su Yu would beat up Huasiqian without a care in the world in front of so many people. That scumbag really had no bottom line. Not only did he scheme against Huamin, but he also wanted to kill Qin Chu. So, Gao Ran was really pissed off this time. He pulled out his gun and walked out. He cried as he walked. Such a grown man, such a pure man, would actually cry in public one day. Rick blocked his way. "What you're doing won't help." That's my first reaction when I found out. But you have to know that we won't be able to kill Huasiqian if we act rashly. Plus, people will talk about it. We have to get revenge. Qin Chu is my brother too. If you're willing, I think we can work together and take him down. What do you think? After hearing Rick's words, Gao Ran calmed down a lot. The problem now is, what should we tell Mian when she comes back? Jiang Xiaowei asked. She was a very calm and logical person, and her IQ was not much lower than Huamin's. She was the smartest and calmest person here. After Jiang Xiaowei raised her question, everyone fell silent once again. I don't want to say it. If you want to say it, you can say it. I really can't say it. Zhu Lingling burst into tears. Me neither. Jiang Xiaowei turned her head away. She couldn't be such a cruel person. Jixin's face was full of anger. All he wanted was revenge. His heart ached even more at the thought of his sister having to face the truth of his brother-in-law's death. And Ai Yang raised his head and interrupted. I was thinking, didn't you say that President Qin's whereabouts were unknown? At this time, no news was good news. Perhaps the fact that they couldn't find a body meant that he was still alive? Am I right? I think we shouldn't be too pessimistic. In that situation, the survival rate is very low. Kid, life isn't like watching movies or TV shows. There's no such thing as luck, understand? Wei Liao looked at Ai Yang and cruelly exposed the truth. Then, everyone fell silent. Rick suppressed his grief and said, As for Hua Min, I will personally apologize to her. This is all my fault. If I didn't insist on forcing Qin Chu onto the plane, he wouldn't have gotten into this accident. Gao Ran patted Rick's shoulder and said, Don't think that way. You're Qin Chu's best friend. I'm sure you're doing this for his own good. Now that something has happened, I'm sure you're feeling terrible. We can't put all the blame on you. That's not fair to you. Ever since Qin Chu and Hua Mion's accident, we've been trying to figure out a way to save them. We can't afford to have internal strife right now. So, Rick, don't blame yourself and don't feel too guilty. Although Qin Chu's chances of survival are slim, I still believe that he's still alive. Gao Ran's words made everyone cry again. Zhu Lingling cried even harder. Chapter 16:14. They're still searching, but it's in the Pacific Ocean. It's too difficult. If they don't find anything in 3 days, they'll give up. By then, Qin Chu's death might be confirmed. Hua Min might come back anytime soon. I'll tell her about this. Also, please stay alert. Hua Xiqian is the devil. He won't stop just because Qin Chu is dead. Don't forget, his target is Hua Min. Jiang Shaowei looked up. I agree with Rick. We can't relax. Hua Xiqian will definitely do something to Hua Mion. We need to think about our next step. What's going to happen to GK? Gao Ran asked. As far as I know, Qin Chu's uncle took over the company, and it's now under the management of the U.S. headquarters. Does the Qin family know about Qin Chu's death? Gao Ran asked again. They don't know yet. I'll ask my brother to contact Qin Chu's family in the U.S. After Rick said this, everyone fell silent again. When they walked out of Seductive Fox, everyone looked sad. Jixin didn't cry much, but his expression didn't look right. Jixin, don't go back to Sky Blessing Court. It's not safe there. Why don't you stay at my place? Jiang Shaowei offered. It's okay, sister slightly. I'm just an insignificant person. That scumbag Hua Xiqian won't do anything to me. Jixin, come to my place. I have space there too. Zhu Lingling held onto Jixin's arm. It's really okay. Sister Lingling, I'm not a kid anymore. I'll stay at home and wait for my sister to come back safely. Then, Jixin lowered his head and said in a hoarse voice, My mom doesn't know that something happened to my sister, and she doesn't know that my brother-in-law. Okay, let's all go home. We'll keep in touch if anything happens. Remember to be careful. I'll keep an eye on Hua Min's movements in Jing City. All right, Wei Liao, if you have time, go ask Lord Su about the military. Okay, I'll call him later. Wei Liao nodded. After they got into the Mercedes-Benz RV, Jiang Shaowei felt a bit uneasy. What's wrong? Honey, get someone to keep an eye on Jixin. If he does anything strange, knock him out immediately and send him to our place. What? Do you suspect him? Yeah, I think that kid will do something stupid. Now that Mion isn't here and Qin Chu's whereabouts are unknown, I can't let anything happen to Jixin. Otherwise, I won't be able to explain myself to Mion. Okay, I'll get someone to keep an eye on him. After Wei Liao and Jiang Shaowei got home, they were about to have dinner. Wei Liao received a phone call. Then, he looked at Jiang Shaowei with admiration. Honey, you guessed it right. What? Did Jixin do it? Yeah, that dumb kid. He took a fruit knife, changed his clothes, and left the house. He's going to the Hua Xiqian mansion to get revenge. That dumb kid. Do you think Hua Xiqian is that easy to deal with? Yeah. Good thing you reminded me, or else I'd be in trouble. If Hua Xiqian caught him, he'd be charged with trespassing and assault with a knife. If he was convicted, He'd be in jail for at least 7 years. Wei Liao was very grateful for his wife's quick wits. Where is he now? My people knocked him out, tied him up, and sent him to our place. Okay, put him under house arrest for now. We'll talk about it when Mian comes back, Jiang Xiaowei instructed. Okay, honey, what happened to Lord Su? Did something happen to him because he tried to save Mian? Ever since Mian escaped danger, Suyu hadn't done anything. Jiang Xiaowei felt like something was wrong. Lord Su, Wei Liao wanted to say something, but stopped. Obviously, he didn't want to say it. What happened to Lord Su? Jiang Xiaowei was so anxious that she pinched Wei Liao's arm. So many things had happened recently, and she couldn't bear to hear bad news from her friends. Chapter 16:15. Lord Su is really under house arrest. Just because he wanted to save Mian? Jiang Xiaowei froze. Do you think it's that simple? If it was, the Su family would have done something when Qin Shu went to jail. This is especially difficult because the victim is Song Yishe. Mayor Song is in charge of a city. Although his rank isn't as high as Lord Su's, he's still a mayor. The mayor's daughter's tragic death is a slap to the government's face. The leaders of the province have already said that they're going to punish Lord Su severely. Now that Lord Su is involved, do you think it's okay? Do you think government matters are that simple? After Wei Liao finished speaking, Xiao Wei fell silent. She was smart, so she knew the gravity of the situation. Therefore, Suyu was truly a god for being able to convince Lord Su to save Mian. Actually, I'm curious as well. How did Suyu convince his grandfather? Jiang Xiaowei slowly asked. Wei Liao only smiled bitterly when he heard this. What's with that expression? Jiang Xiaowei looked at her husband. If I tell you, you'll be shocked. Let me tell you. Suyu pointed a gun at Lord Su's head and threatened him. He's awesome. He only gave Lord Su 3 seconds, or else he would have shot him. The gun in Lord Su's hand was personally given to him by Lord Su when he joined the military. It's a Type 92 military pistol with a 9mm caliber and is extremely powerful. You can say that it's the king of our country's military pistols. It's extremely lethal. It can penetrate 3mm of steel and 50mm of pine wood within 50 meters. But that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that this pistol has terrifying lethality. Once a bullet enters a person's body, it will create a large cavity and cause the greatest amount of damage. With a pistol like this, no matter which part of the body it hits, it will be fatal. Our powerful Lord Su pointed at his own head in front of his grandfather. Do you think Lord Su would be scared? After Wei Liao finished speaking, Jiang Xiaowei felt a chill run down her spine. She couldn't believe that Su Yu was this crazy. He pointed such a terrifying pistol at his own head. If it accidentally went off, then she could only regret it in her next life. A person's life was the most precious thing in the world because everyone only had one life. Su Yu was born into such a wealthy family and didn't have to worry about food and clothing. If it were anyone else, they wouldn't even be able to live to 100 years old. However, Su Yu was willing to gamble his own life in order to save Huomin. Jiang Xiaowei was a fan of Qin Shu and Huomin. She had always envied Qin Shu's friendship with Huomin. From spring and autumn to winter and summer, from youth to white hair, that kind of relationship between childhood sweethearts, that kind of relationship where Qin Shu was willing to face kidnappers single-handedly for Huomin. He was shot in the heart. She thought that in this world, no one would ever treat Huomin like that again. But today, Suyu, seeing that Jiang Xiaowei was silent, Wei Liao smiled helplessly. Sometimes I think, if he was born, why would Liang be born? If Qin Shu was born, why would Suyu be born? Qin Shu's existence was the biggest torture for Suyu. Because he appeared too late, he missed out on everything. Even if he died for Huomin, even if he died that day, he still didn't get a hug from Huomin. Was this kind of relationship really worth it? But I know that to Suyu, it was worth it. After Huomin got into trouble, he only said one thing to me, and that was, I won't let Huomin die. Chapter 16:16. It's been hard on you, Lord Su. Jiang Xiaowei didn't feel good when she heard this. Lord Su succeeded in threatening Lord Su, but he's not having a good time either. Lord Su is furious. He's teaching him a lesson at home. Su Mansion. It was Su Yu's first day of house arrest. Lord Su made him kneel in the ancestral hall of the Su family without moving. He wasn't allowed to eat or drink. He had to face the wall and reflect on his mistakes. Most of the Su family's ancestors were from the military. Su Yu's great-grandfather was said to be an important founding father when the country was founded. Later, he sacrificed himself in the war for the country and was given the highest honor by the country. In this generation, Lord Su was also the head of the military and was a famous marshal in Jingdu. Mr. Su chose to do business because he didn't like the old-fashioned style of the military. In Su Yu's generation, only Su Yu's third uncle chose to join military. He was the commander of a company in the Air Force and was also a well-known figure. When it came to Su Yu's generation, he didn't want to be a soldier when he was young. Later, no one knew why he suddenly demobilized later on. He often ate, drank, and played. No one in the Su family mentioned this, and no outsiders knew about it. Su Yu knelt in front of the ancestral hall with his head lowered. "Son, drink some water." Mrs. Su couldn't bear to see her son suffer, so she brought a cup of warm water. "Don't give it to him. Make him kneel." Lord Su was exasperated. Su Yu didn't dare to take the water from his mother's hand. "Brat, you're capable now. You actually used the pistol I gave you to threaten me. If you're so capable, don't point at your own head. Point it at mine." Lord Su pointed at Su Yu and roared. "How would I dare? Isn't that disgraceful? If I don't respect Grandpa, I'll be struck by lightning," Su Yu quibbled. "You know that? Aren't you afraid of being struck by lightning when you threaten Grandpa?" "Didn't I do it for a reason?" "What's the reason? Just because of women? Look at yourself. How could you play with your head for a woman?" After saying that, Master Lord Su hit Su Yu's back with his stick. "Ouch! It hurts. Grandpa, be gentler. I'm going to beat you to death, you little bastard." Not only did Lord Su not show any mercy, he even hit him harder. "Dad, be gentle. He doesn't exercise anymore. He's not as strong as before." Su Yu's mother pleaded for her son. "Grandpa, can you call me later? I have a question." Su Yu raised his hands and begged his grandfather as if he was surrendering. "Ask away." Grandpa was fuming with rage as he glared at his grandson. "Where's Huamin now? When will he be back?" As soon as he asked that question, another blow came down on him. This time, Su Yu felt a burning pain all over his body. It seemed that Grandpa was really going to teach him a lesson this time. VIP room of a military hospital in Kyoto, Professor Luo. Huamin was resting in his room. When he saw Professor Luo walk in, he immediately stood up. "Sit down." Professor Luo waved his hand and asked Huamin to sit down. "Huamin, have you felt any discomfort recently?" "A little." "Where?" "My stomach sometimes churns. I'm always nauseous. Maybe I've been in a bad mood recently and haven't eaten much. My stomach is hungry. It's probably gastritis. That's why it's protesting." Huamin smiled. "You think it's gastritis?" Professor Luo smiled. "Yeah." Huamin nodded. "I can't believe you're a genius doctor. How could you not know that you're pregnant?" Professor Luo smiled lovingly. "Professor Luo, what did you say?" Huamin stood up excitedly again. "Huamin, you're pregnant. The fetus is 55 days old, and it's twins." "Twins? Twins? Oh my God." Huamin covered his face with his hands and looked at Professor Luo in disbelief. Chapter 16-17. "You can't believe it, can you?" Professor Luo smiled. "Yeah, it's hard to believe." Huamin couldn't calm herself down. She hadn't gotten pregnant for so long, and now she was pregnant with twins? How ridiculous was that? The babies are still small. They haven't fully formed yet. Luckily, we can hear their heartbeats by listening to their heartbeats. Although this is a good thing for you, it's also tough. You're a doctor, and you've worked in the OB/GYN department before. You should know that twins don't reach full term. They might be born prematurely at 7 or 8 months. It's tough, so you have to be mentally prepared. "I know. I'll be careful." Huamin's eyes were still slightly teary. If Qinshu knew about this, he would be ecstatic, right? Her parents-in-law were also here. The babies they had been waiting for were finally here. It was rare to see an overly excited expression on Huamin's face. It was because her personality was simply too cold. However, Professor Luo wasn't looking at a genius doctor with a high IQ. She was just a little girl crying tears of joy. Huamin was so nervous and excited that her hands were clasped together. Her fingers were clasped together as if she was praying for something. But I'm curious. You've been pregnant for so long. They should have been able to find out when you were in prison. Why didn't they find out? If they didn't give you a checkup, they would have missed it. Professor Luo frowned slightly. Huamin's heart sank at this thought. She slowly opened her mouth and said, I think someone didn't want to hear about my pregnancy, so they chose to keep it a secret. Huamin's first reaction was that Mayor Song must have done something to the prison. Otherwise, with how long she had been pregnant, they would have found out a long time ago. A urine test would have been very obvious. A blood test would have been even more obvious. Her progesterone level would have been much lower than usual. Then, since you're pregnant, you should rest well. I've already submitted the evidence of your pregnancy tonight and applied for medical parole for you. This way, we can delay for a long time, and then we'll have more time to think of a solution. Thank you, Professor. Hey, don't thank me. I was just asked to do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have the ability to drag you out of prison. If the higher-ups approve it tomorrow, you can leave here. The commander will arrange for someone to come to Jingdu to pick you up. That's great. Huamin couldn't suppress his excitement at the thought of going home and reuniting with Qin Chu. Then rest early today. Tell me what you want to eat. Pregnant women can't be careless. Okay. Huamin did not hesitate and nodded slightly. It was just that she couldn't use her phone now, so communication was inconvenient. Otherwise, she really wanted to call Qin Chu immediately and share the good news with him. Then, she remembered that Qin Chu might already be in America, because before she came in, not only did she tell Jiang Xiaowei some things, but she also talked to Rick alone. Huamin started to let his imagination run wild again. Because she knew that she was pregnant, she ate a lot for dinner and had a rare appetite. That night, inside the Su family mansion, when Lord Su picked up the phone, his face was solemn. Is the news accurate? He asked. Okay, I got it. Then, Lord Su hung up the phone. Then, he walked into the ancestral hall. Su Yu was still kneeling there, straighten your back. Lord Su scolded Su Yu, who was reflecting in front of the ancestral hall. Chapter 16-18. Grandpa, I'm a little hungry. Grandpa, I'm thirsty. Grandpa, don't be so cruel. Am I not your grandson? Su Yu looked at his grandpa and wanted to cry, but had no tears. If you were my grandson, I would have thrown you into the sea to feed the sharks. You should be glad that you're the only one in this family. Otherwise, do you think I would have let you go? The old man seemed to be still angry. Grandpa. Su Yu turned on his coquettish mode. He knew that his grandpa loved him the most. As long as he acted coquettishly, his grandpa's heart would definitely soften. At this moment, before Su Yu could continue, Master Lord Su said, slightly, the girl you asked me to save is pregnant. What? Su Yu was extremely shocked. I just received news from Jing City. They've applied for medical parole. Because she's pregnant, it's easier to handle. When the order is approved tomorrow, we can pick her up. She's pregnant. Su Yu's expression was indescribable whether he was happy or sad. In short, it was very complicated. Master Lord Su saw everything and scolded with his hand behind his back. You should give up now. Su Yu licked his lips and didn't answer. He felt a little upset. However, at the same time, he was happy for Huamin. He knew that Huamin had always wanted a baby. Moreover, at this time, Huamin was pregnant, so it was easier for her to come out. It was simply the right time. Why aren't you talking? Are you upset? Master Lord Su asked. Ha! Why would I be upset? It's a good thing that she's pregnant. Su Yu smiled bitterly. Okay, let's see how long you can last. There'll be news tomorrow morning. I'll send someone to pick her up, but because her identity is still sensitive, she can't go home immediately. It'll cause bad public opinion. I plan to let her rest in our local military hospital. Okay, Grandpa. I'll pick her up tomorrow. You're going? Master Lord Su was stunned. Well, I'll go. If someone else goes, I'll be worried. So he was very careful now. He was afraid that something would happen to Huamin. The Rick brothers had planned for so long and meticulously, but something still happened to Qin Chu. This proved that Hua Xiqian's ability to take advantage of every opening was too strong. Therefore, Su didn't really trust his subordinates to do the job. Initially, he thought that his grandfather wouldn't agree and that he would have to spend a lot of effort to convince him. But surprisingly, Lord Su actually agreed. He thought for a while and said, "That's good too. Things will be easier if you go. Everyone knows that you're my grandson, so they'll still give you some face." "Grandpa, how is that a thin face? It's clearly a very, very big face, okay? Stop talking nonsense. Continue to kneel. You can't leave until midnight." "Hey, Grandpa, I have to catch a flight to Jing City tomorrow. No matter how much Su protested, Lord Su refused to compromise. The reason was because Su had gone too far this time. The old man was scared half to death. He had seen all kinds of storms. After working in the army for so many years, he was actually scared by his grandson. That pistol had too strong a penetrating power. Lord Su didn't dare to believe it. What if he missed and really shot Su Yu in the head? He didn't dare to take that risk, nor could he bear that kind of tragedy. Therefore, he compromised and let his grandson lead him by the nose. Su Yu stayed in the ancestral hall, but his heart was much more at ease. When he heard that he would be able to see Huamin tomorrow, his heart felt warm. However, when he thought about Huamin's pregnancy, he felt sad. Although he knew that this day would come, he didn't expect it to come so soon. If Qin Chu knew that Huamin was pregnant, he would probably be overjoyed. After all, he was going to be a father. Late at night, Mrs. Su came to look for her son with her phone. Your phone isn't turned on?" My grandfather confiscated it." So you looked bitter. "Wei Liao called me. It seems like he has something urgent to talk to you about." Then, Mrs. Su handed the phone to her son. Chapter 16-19. "Hello, Lord Su. MHM, go ahead. Are you okay?" Wei Liao asked. "I'm fine now. How are things with Huamin? When will she be back?" "About tomorrow. My grandpa just told me today. If everything goes well, I'll go pick up Huamin tomorrow." "That's great, but we have some bad news." "What bad news?" So he was still a little confused. Did something happen at the prison? Or did the media start to expose that they were operating under the table and harboring murderers? Could it be that Mayor Song and Hua Xiqian started to do something? Just as his thoughts were running wild, Wei Liao said, "Something happened to Qin Chu." "What's wrong?" So you try to stay calm. "The plane that Rick arranged for him to go to the States crashed. We've been searching for him for a long time, but we still can't find anything. Everyone on the plane was basically blown to pieces. So, the chances of Qin Chu surviving are very slim." "How did this happen?" Su Yu's eyes widened, and his heart raced. "It's the truth. We just saw Rick today and confirmed it with him. We don't want to believe it either, but it's true. So I want to ask you, if Huamin comes back, what should we tell her?" Su Yu fell silent. Who would dare to tell Huamin such a cruel thing? How did this happen? Huamin just got pregnant, and Qin Chu got into an accident. So he was very sad. It was as if something was pressing down on his chest, making it hard for him to breathe. "What? Huamin is pregnant?" Wei Liao caught the main point. "MHM, oh my God, what should we do? Who would dare to tell her? I'm scared that she'll be upset. This matter can't be discussed for now. I'll go to the capital tomorrow to pick him up, and we'll discuss it after I bring him back." After hanging up the phone worriedly, Su Yu's expression changed. "What's wrong, son?" "It's okay. Mom, I'm going to pack up. I might have to go to Jindo tomorrow." After that, Su Yu stood up and left. His mother vaguely felt that her son's back was a little heavy. "Wei family villa, what did you just say?" Jiang Xiaowei came over and tugged at Wei Liao's arm. Lord Su said, "Huamin is pregnant." Wei Liao was also a little confused. "Pregnant?" Jiang Xiaowei was shocked. "Yes, if Lord Su says she's pregnant, then there's no mistake. The military hospital definitely won't make a mistake. But why wasn't there any news from the prison? Could it be that she was pregnant back then and someone deliberately hid it?" Jiang Shaowei reacted quickly and immediately understood what was going on. That's very possible. After all, the situation in the prison is very complicated. It's not strange that Mayor Song's people are involved. Mion's pregnancy. That's great news. But Qin Shu, before Jiang Shaowei could finish, the couple fell silent again. The timing of Huamin's pregnancy was too sensitive. If she found out about Qin Shu, how was she going to face it? Jiang Shaowei couldn't imagine what Huamin would be like without Qin Shu. The next morning, Lord Su received a call from the capital that Huamin was temporarily released. So you took the 8 a.m. flight to the capital to pick him up. Huamian packed up her things, dressed neatly, and waited to leave. She was very excited. When the door opened and she saw Su Yu, she was a little surprised. "Why are you here?" "To take you home." Su Yu looked at Huamin's face, and his heart was filled with happiness. In this world, there was a feeling called "I'm satisfied to see you safe and sound." For Su Yu, he didn't dare to expect too much. He didn't want to see Huamin walk out in one piece. He had nothing else to ask for. While Huamin was still in a daze, he strode over and picked up Huamin's luggage. "What are you waiting for? Come with me." So you turned around and smiled at Huamin. Only then did Huamian realize what was going on and jogged to catch up with him. "Can you not be so reckless? You're going to be a mother soon. Can you slow down?" Seeing Huamin jogging, Suyu was scared out of his wits and quickly stopped to talk her out of it. "You know," Huamin smiled shyly. Chapter 16:20. Congratulations. Suyu looked at Huamin and slowly congratulated him. "Thank you." Huamin's heart was filled with happiness when he thought about the 2 lives in his stomach. It was already 1 o'clock in the afternoon when he and Suyu arrived at Sea City on the plane. After they got off the plane, Imperial Star's chauffeur drove Suyu's beloved car, a black Lamborghini, to the airport. Then, he took Huamin straight to a high-end restaurant in the city center. Everyone was waiting at the door to greet them. Wei Liao, Tang Chuan, Jiang Shaowei, Ji Xin, Zhu Lingling, Gao Ran, and Ai Yong, and Chen Jie. When Huamin got out of the car and saw everyone, his eyes became slightly moist. Although he had only been in prison for a few days, it felt like a century had passed. "Wow, look at our genius back," Tang Chuan teased. Everyone stood in a row and smiled at Huamin. What a big scene. Huamin got out of the car and smiled at everyone. "Mian, come, step over the brazier to get rid of the bad luck." Zhu Lingling was quite superstitious. Yesterday, she went out of her way to buy this brazier. It was filled with charcoal, and it was burning bright red. Then, Huamin carefully stepped over the brazier. Everyone applauded. Jixin immediately ran over and hugged her neck tightly. "Sis, you scare me. I missed you so much." Jixin couldn't hold back his tears anymore. Ever since he found out that his sister was sentenced to death, he had completely collapsed. He didn't eat or drink for years and lost a lot of weight. "I'm sorry. I made you worry." Huamin lovingly patted Jixin's head. Then, she looked up and glanced at everyone's faces. She smiled and bowed to everyone apologetically. "I'm sorry. I really made everyone worry." "Hey, what are you talking about? Why are you being so polite to us?" Zhu Lingling immediately walked up and grabbed Huamin's hand. "Let's go and welcome you back." Then, everyone entered the private room on the top floor of the hotel, not far away. Huasiqian sat in a black Buick minivan and watched everything quietly. "Boss, should we kidnap Miss Hua?" "No need." When Huasiqian received the news that Huamin was pregnant, he was slightly shocked. Because this wasn't part of his plan, another accident. Suyu ruined his perfect plan, which made him very angry. Without a doubt, Huamin's and mean S's and means Mian. "I really don't want you to give birth to this child. What should I do?" Huasiqian's at Huamian. She didn't want Huamin to give birth to any other man's child. However, he didn't have the heart to hurt Huamin. "Boss, what should we do now?" "Let me think about it." Then, Huasiqian gestured for the car to start driving. The black Buick minivan slowly drove away without arousing anyone's suspicions. Inside the private room, everyone sat down. On Huamin's left was Jixin, and on his right was Zhu Lingling. Then there was Gao Ran and Ai Yang and Chunjia. Next to Jixin were Jiang Xiaowei, Wei Liao, Su Yu, and Tang Chuan. After the dishes were served, before anyone could say anything, Huamin looked at Zhu Lingling and said, "Lingling, lend me your phone." "Why?" "I'm calling Rick. He's been helping me and Qin Shu lately. We can't leave him out of this meal." After Huamin finished speaking, everyone's expressions changed slightly. Chapter 16:21. Sis, the truth is, Jixin paused. He really didn't have the heart to tell his sister. Just then, Su Yu stood up and said, "Huamin, I called Rick. He went out and hasn't come back yet." "Oh, I see. Yeah, so when he comes back, he'll come find you. Don't worry." "Okay, let's eat then." Huamin sat down with a smile on his face. "Sis, did you eat bad food in there?" Jixin asked. "Sis, is that cornmeal cornbread?" And Ai Yang chimed in as well. "No way. Cornbread is very expensive these days. I've been eating cornbread for dinner every day," Tang Chuan chimed in. "No, I ate pretty well. I had 4 dishes and 1 soup for every meal. After I got to Jing City, I ate even better. Professor Luo took great care of me. Speaking of which, I have to thank someone." Huamin held a glass of juice in front of him and looked at Su Yu. "Thank you for helping me get out of danger again. I can't repay you for saving my life." "So you're going to give yourself to Lord Su?" "Huh," Tang Chuan teased. "Ahem." Huamin coughed a little awkwardly and continued. "I can't repay Lord Su's kindness with ingratitude." After Huamin's witty reply, everyone laughed. Su Yu was also amused. "If you say so, then I'm relieved. Su Yu, thank you so much. Anything I say now is meaningless. Anyways, if you ever need me, Huamin, in the future, I'll do anything. Everyone here can be a witness. If one day I, Huamin, stand by and watch Lord Su coldly when he needs me, then I'll die a horrible death. You're crazy. Say something so inauspicious. Shut your mouth. My life has been very successful, and I don't have to worry about food and clothing. I'll never ask you for help, so I'm scared that you won't have a chance to repay me." Su Yu hated Huamin's harsh words, so he stopped him from saying anything more. "Anyways, I'll give you a toast." "Wait, you're pregnant right now. You can't drink juice. Waiter, bring in 2 bottles of water." Su Yu's words immediately ignited the crowd. Other than Jiang Xiaowei and Wei Liao, everyone else was going crazy. Tang Chuan. "Fuck. Lord Su, what did you say?" Zhu Lingling. "Pregnant? Who?" Gao Ran. "Mion's pregnant? Is that so? Did I hear that right?" And Ai Yang. "So Jixin and I are going to be uncles?" Chunjia. "Boss, congratulations." Jixin. "Mom, are you really pregnant? That's amazing. I'm just pregnant. What's with your expressions?" Huamin couldn't help but glance at everyone's reactions and laugh. It's a good thing that we found out earlier. Otherwise, our expressions right now would be very interesting. Jiang Xiaowei laughed. Did I leak something?" "So you said on purpose." "Oh my god, I can't believe it." "Mion, are you really pregnant?" Zhu Lingling grabbed Huamin's hand and shook it violently. "Hey, be gentle. She's under heavy protection right now." Gao Ren immediately stopped Zhu Lingling's impulse. "How long has it been, sis?" And Ai Yang was very calm as he looked at Huamin. "Just over 50 days. At this moment, Su Yu interrupted again. "So, did anyone know that she's pregnant with twins?" Tang Chuan. "Twins? Fuck. This is crazy. Chapter 16:22. Zhu Lingling. Twins. Jiang Xiaowei. "My Mion's pregnant is amazing." Gao Ran. "So, did I win the legendary grand prize?" Everyone knew that the probability of twins was very low, so they all went crazy. "Sis, you're amazing. Sis, do you have 2 babies? Is it a boy or a girl?" Jixin couldn't contain his joy and kept asking. "They're still young. I can't tell if they're a boy or a girl, haha." Huamin looked at everyone's expressions and was amused. Then, she suddenly thought of something and glanced at Su Yu. I don't remember telling you. How did you know they were twins? Professor Luo told me. So you look proud. Okay, you win. Huamin subconsciously put her hand on her belly, full of happiness. Mr. Qin will be happy if he knows. He loves kids. Now that there are two of them, the house is going to be lively. After Huamin said this, everyone fell silent. Everyone's expressions became strange again. She was smart and noticed that something was wrong. She looked up at everyone and asked, "What's wrong with you guys? You're so expressive." "No, nothing. We're just too shocked. We're happy for you," Gao Ran replied guiltily. "Huh, I didn't think they were twins either. I'm really scared. I don't have twins in my family. Qin Shu's family doesn't have twins either. I didn't know the twins were born in such a way." Huamin laughed. "Come on, let's bet on whether they're a boy or a girl." Tang Chuan deliberately changed the topic to liven up the atmosphere. Zhu Lingling, "I'm guessing they're boys. They're going to be so naughty, ha." Gao Ran, "I agree with my sharp-tongued Ling Jixin. I'm guessing a boy and a girl, haha. That's good. I'm so lucky as an uncle." Jiang Xiaowei, "I'm guessing a boy and a girl. That's the best way to have a son and a daughter." Wei Liao, "I agree with my wife." And I Yang, "I'm guessing it's two boys. It's nice for the older brother to take care of the younger brother." Chun Jia, "Then I'm guessing it's two girls. It's good that the elder sister is taking care of the younger sister." And I Yang, "Are you playing against me? Look at them. They all agree with my family's idea." Chun Jia, Tang Chuan, "I'm guessing it's two boys. Haha, it's going to be big trouble in the future." In the end, Tang Chuan glanced at Suyu, who had been silent all this while. "Suyu, what do you think?" After a few seconds of silence, Suyu glanced at Huamin and said, "Two girls, right? Why?" Tang Chuan was a little puzzled. "I think when girls grow up, they'll be more obedient and dote on their parents. Boys are too naughty." "Hi, right." Tang Chuan laughed loudly. Then, everyone began to eat, and the atmosphere became lively again. Suyu glanced at Huamin from afar. There was something he wanted to say, but he didn't say it out loud. In fact, he wanted to say that he hoped Huamin would have two girls. The main reason was that girls would be as good as their mothers. If there were two more girls as cute as Huamin in the world, it would be a very happy thing. Jixin kept putting food on his sister's plate, afraid that she wouldn't eat well. He was the epitome of a considerate man. "Jixin, did Mom call you recently?" "Yeah, I just remembered now that you mentioned it." "Hurry up and call her. She hasn't been able to reach you recently. She said she's worried. I can't take it anymore. She's always talking about going back to China. She'll probably stop thinking nonsense when she hears your voice." After speaking, Jixin picked up his phone and video called his mother. Huamin took his phone to the bathroom in the private room and talked to his mother alone for a while. During this time, Jiang Xiaowei immediately said, "I think it's best if we don't tell Mian about Qinshu for now." Chapter 16:23. That's what I was thinking. She's pregnant and in the early stages. Her pregnancy isn't stable yet. We can't agitate her, Gao Ran said. But how long do we have to keep it a secret? She's very smart. Zhu Lingling was worried. Let's keep it a secret for as long as we can. Anyways, it's better if she finds out later. Right now, she's still basking in the joy of being pregnant. I really don't want her to hear the news, Suyu suggested. But my sister is very sensitive. I think she'll find out soon. Jixin lowered his head, his heart heavy again. Rick will probably tell Huamin about it himself. Anyways, we don't know the details, so it's better not to tell her. Gao Ran looked at everyone. Finally, everyone nodded and decided to keep a secret for now. No one dared to tell Huamin. If she found out that Qinshu was dead, then her whole world would collapse. When Huamin came back from the phone call, he saw everyone eating quietly with their heads down. No one was talking, and he immediately felt strange. Why aren't you guys talking? We were all waiting for you to come back. Zhu Lingling looked up and forced a smile. I just talked to my mom. She's relieved. You should stay at my place tonight. Jixin is also staying at my place for a few days. It's a critical time right now, and Sky Blessing Court might not be safe enough. I have a lot of bodyguards, Jiang Xiaowei suggested. Before Huamin could speak, Suyu said, Huamin can't move around as she pleases right now. She still has to stay at the military hospital. Although she's out on medical parole, she can't move around like a normal person. You have to understand this. But don't worry, my grandpa is already trying to get her freedom back. Huh? Her freedom is still restricted? Zhu Lingling looked displeased. What do you think? Was Huang Mian a murderer? To be able to get the criminals who are going to be executed by shooting in such a short time. Commander Su is really amazing. He instantly killed a scumbag like my dad. Ever since Qin Shu and Huamin got into trouble, Gao Ran was extremely dissatisfied with his father. He felt that his father didn't do his best. In fact, although Gao Ran's father was in the provincial office, his position was not high enough to bail out a murderer. There was no way Mayor Song would let such a mistake happen. Sis, I'll have to trouble you for now. And Ai Yang looked at Huamin with heartache. I'm fine. This is already very good. I'm really satisfied. Huamin originally thought that Hua Xiqian wouldn't have the heart to kill her and would find a scapegoat. When the time came, the truth would be revealed. However, he did not expect that Hua Xiqian would not make a move. Could it be that he really wished for him to die? Mian, we'll visit you often. Stay in the military hospital and take care of the baby. Think about the baby and eat more. Jiang Xiaowei comforted her. Of course, I won't let you guys worry. When I see Rick and find out that Mr. Qin is in the States, I'll stay here for a while. When I'm ready to leave, I'll go to the States and meet up with him. Maybe the baby will be born there. Ha! But you aunties and uncles have to give me gifts and red packets. I'll pay for the plane tickets. You guys have to come to the States to visit me and the baby. Huamin took the opportunity to daydream. However, everyone's hearts sank after hearing what she said. Chapter 16:24. Before Huamin could figure out what was going on, Suyu immediately stood up and looked at his watch. It's almost time. I'll take Huamin to the military hospital first. Don't let the higher-ups suspect anything. She can't appear in public right now, so please don't tell anyone that Huamin is back. I'll arrange another time for her to meet you guys. Okay, that's all for today. Gao Ren stood up as well. Everyone said goodbye to Huamin and left the hotel. Suyu drove very slowly in the Lamborghini. Huamin could clearly feel that the car was moving at a snail's pace. Hey, at this speed, can we get to the military hospital before dark? I can't drive too fast. After all, you're pregnant. I'm just pregnant, not critically ill. Huh, don't be so careful, okay? Huamin couldn't help but laugh. Huamian, have you ever thought about why you didn't get pregnant for so long? Why are you suddenly pregnant now? So you suddenly asked a critical question. Huamin's eyes dimmed slightly. I've thought about it. Maybe I know what's going on. What do you think went wrong? Suyu tilted his head and glanced at Huamin. I used to eat at home in Southside Recuperation Center. Then, after Qin Shu and I got divorced, I didn't eat at South Hill Manor or Southside Recuperation Center. I've always been cooking at Sky Blessing Court, so I suspect someone must have done something to the food at home in Southside Recuperation Center. Have you verified it? Huamin shook his head. Not yet. It's just my guess. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm only 2 at this time. I really don't want to think about it. Do you need to verify it? I can help you look into it. On the surface, Suyu was always baring his fangs and brandishing his claws. However, he was actually a very thoughtful person. Huamin had not been pregnant for such a long time. Now, she was pregnant during this sensitive period. Could it be that someone had done something? That was why he wanted to investigate for Huamin. Now, that Qin Shu was not around. He had to take care of Huamin, didn't he? When he thought of Qin Shu's accident, Suyu felt very uncomfortable. A few days ago, when he went to talk to Qin Shu alone, Qin Shu had said that if one day he was no longer around, he had to take care of Huamin for him. Were those his last words? Watch the road. Seeing that Suyu was distracted, Huamin immediately reached out to help him adjust the steering wheel so that they could avoid the oncoming car. Only then did Suyu come back to his senses. You were distracted? Huamin glanced at Suyu. Yeah, what are you thinking about? Huamin asked curiously. I'm thinking that I should help you investigate if someone did something to your food. Suyu quickly adapted. No, it's okay. I don't want to pursue it. Why? Don't you want to know who set you up? I don't even need to guess. If there really was someone who could do something to my house in Southside, it would be Huasiqian. I just don't want to investigate anymore. I'm tired. Whether or not this happened, Huasiqian is my enemy. I'll never forgive him. After Qin Shu and I get over this, I'll come up with a perfect plan. When the time comes, I'll make Huasiqian regret everything he did to me and Qin Shu. He can't keep bullying me just because we're kind. We have a bottom line. So you could tell that Huamin hated Huasiqian to the core. It was a bone-deep hatred. Chapter 1625. You're pregnant right now. The most important thing is to protect yourself and the baby. The news of your return was kept a secret, but Huasiqian might know about it. So, it's better to be careful. Suyu felt uneasy. He used to be on tenterhooks protecting Huamin. Now that Huamin was pregnant, he had to be even more on tenterhooks. There were 3 of them now. If he couldn't protect them, how could he face Qin Shu's trust? Suyu thought about it sometimes and found it unbelievable that the person who trusted him was his love rival. Qin Shu was willing to leave Huamin in his care. What kind of trust was that? Maybe Qin Shu felt bitter about it. Suyu felt like he hadn't done enough for Huamin. Maybe he would never be able to match up to Qin Shu. Just the 7 years of forbearance and 3 years of high school were already incomparable to him. He only hoped that he could see Huamin live a peaceful and happy life as long as he lived. That would be great. Suyu drove Huamin to the military general hospital. He specially booked a VIP room and hired a nurse to take care of her. Before he left, he repeatedly reminded the nurse, "You have to be careful. She's pregnant with twins. I'll do my best. Don't worry, young Master Su." The nurse was also very nervous. "Suyu, I'm fine. Don't be so nervous." Huamin looked at Suyu amused. Seeing how nervous Suyu was right now, people who didn't know would think that the twins were his. "You can't be careless right now. Call me if you need anything. Because of your sensitive status, you can't use any communication devices. I won't leave my phone with you. There's a landline here. You can remember the number, so just call me if you need anything. I'll come over every day. You don't have to come every day. Go to your work. There's a lot of work waiting for you at Imperial Star." Huamin felt extremely guilty and didn't want to trouble Suyu anymore. "That's not a problem. Just focus on taking care of the baby." Suyu waved his hand and left the hospital. Huamin lay on the hospital bed and watched the prenatal education program on the television. He did not realize that something had happened to Qin Shu. After watching TV, she was a little sleepy. Just as she was about to rest, she suddenly thought of a problem. Then he would call Rick. The phone rang for a long time before Rick picked it up. "Rick, I'm Huamin." "Yes. By the way, after you sent Qin Shu to America, did you meet up with my in-laws? I'm a little worried about my father-in-law's condition. I don't know how he is. Can you help me contact them? I want to talk to them. I just need to talk to my mother-in-law. If it's convenient, it would be best if I could talk to Qin Shu." Huamin didn't want to trouble Rick. He knew that this was a special time. Therefore, he made his request very tactfully. Rick was silent on the other side of the phone. "Rick, are you listening?" Huamin thought that the signal was bad. "I'm listening." Rick's voice was very deep. "Can you help me contact them?" "Huamin, there's a problem over there. How about this? Where are you? I'll come over and find you. I'm at the Military General Hospital, but I don't think you can just come and see me. You can contact Suyu and ask him to arrange a meeting for us." "Okay, I'll call Suyu." "Rick, what's wrong over in America?" Huamin asked anxiously. "I'll talk to you in detail when we meet." Rick didn't want to talk about this over the phone, so he decided to talk to Huamin in person. In the evening, Suyu received a call from Rick and was about to leave the house. However, his mother stopped him. "Son, is Huamin back yet?" Mrs. Su looked at her son and asked. Chapter 1626. She's back. Is she okay now? She's fine for now. Grandpa applied for medical parole, but I heard she's pregnant. Suyu nodded. I want to ask, is the child yours? Suyu almost spat out a mouthful of blood upon hearing Mrs. Su's words. Puffed. Mom, are you kidding me? Answer, Mom. Don't joke around. Mrs. Su, on the other hand, still looked serious. Mom, The child really isn't mine. Huamian and I are very pure. Although I have feelings for her, she doesn't have feelings for me. So you said helplessly. Okay, if you're not, then I don't have to worry anymore. If you are, then what are you going to do? So you could tell that his mother was implying something else. If you are, then of course I'm going to hold a wedding for you. Do you think I'll let my grandson be born as an illegitimate child? Ahem. Mom, you're overthinking things. I have to go now, that's all. Hey, you still haven't told me where the child lives. I want to see her. The military hospital. Grandpa knows, so you said as he walked out the door without looking back. On the way to the military hospital with Rick, the atmosphere was very gloomy. Are you really going to tell me the truth? So you asked as he drove. MHM. Then, can Huamian handle it? So he was a little worried. But it's the truth, Rick replied calmly. Huamian is pregnant. I'm worried she's pregnant? Rick looked at Suyu in shock. MHM, why else do you think the military released her so quickly? Upon hearing that Huamian was pregnant, Rick fell silent once again. The guilt and self-blame in his heart rose again. If it weren't for him, Qin wouldn't have gotten into trouble, and Qin would have known that Huamian was pregnant. He was going to be a father soon. Looking at Rick's gloomy expression, Suyu asked helplessly, do you have to look like you're holding a grudge? Why don't you find an excuse to delay Huamian for as long as you can? No, I have to tell her the truth. No wonder you're as stubborn as a donkey. Huamian is so smart. She won't be kept in the dark for long. Instead of being timid, it's better to tell her sooner. Rick was determined to tell Huamian. No matter how he tried to persuade him, it was useless. In the end, even though Suyu was extremely unwilling, he still brought Rick into the military hospital. Door of the VIP ward, go in and talk to her. I'll wait for you at the door. Suyu paced back and forth at the door. He did not dare to enter. He did not dare to see Huamian's expression when he heard the news. He felt like he wouldn't be able to take it. Rick was wearing a black casual jacket. When he knocked on the door and walked in, Huamian was listening to prenatal education music. Rick happily stood up when he saw Rick walk in. Rick, come and sit down. Rick nodded and sat down on the sofa across from Huamian. Huamian picked up the kettle on the coffee table and poured a cup of tea for Rick. Try the chrysanthemum tea I made myself. It's very healthy. I don't drink it, thank you. Huamian put the tea aside. Before he could say anything, Rick said, Huamian, I heard. You're pregnant? Chapter 16:27. Yeah, they're twins. Haha, I still feel like I'm dreaming. It's so surreal. I wonder if Mr. Qin will faint from happiness when he finds out. Huamian's voice and expression were filled with the shyness and joy of a young girl. Such a pure and innocent smile pierced Rick's heart deeply. Suyu stood outside the door and snuck a peek. Seeing Huamian giggling like an idiot, Suyu's heart skipped a beat. Then he turned his head, took out a cigarette, and put it in his mouth. Young Master Su, this is a hospital, you can't smoke. The nurse walked over and kindly reminded him. Suyu obediently took out the cigarette and stuck it behind his ear, looking very handsome. The nurse walked over shyly. Young Master Su, is the girl inside your friend? Yeah, she's a really nice person. She never orders us around and does everything herself. She also has a lot of professional knowledge, of course, because she's a doctor. Suyu smiled bitterly. I'll go in and take her blood pressure and heart rate. Then, the nurse was about to go in. Suyu reached out and stopped her. She's talking to someone important. You can come back later. Okay. The nurse turned around and walked 2 steps. Then, she looked back at Suyu and asked, Young Master Su, what's your WeChat number? Suyu was slightly surprised at first. Then he replied, I don't use WeChat. Oh, okay. Obviously, Lord Su rejected her. In today's society, how many people didn't use WeChat? Those who said they didn't use WeChat were either lying on purpose or tactfully rejecting your friend request. Suyu stood outside the door, feeling very nervous, as if he was waiting for the result. Rick was inside. When he saw Huamian's bright smile, for a moment, he didn't have the heart to say anything. Congratulations, the baby must be very cute, Rick said faintly. Thank you. All right, why didn't Cece come with you? I miss her. Her school schedule has been a little tight recently. Oh, then I'll treat her to a meal when she's free. Huamin smiled. Huamin. Rick called her name softly. I'm sorry. Rick lowered his head and apologized softly. Why are you apologizing to me? Huamin was still smiling, but he had a bad feeling about this. I'm really sorry. Chin Chu. At this point, Rick paused. What's wrong with Chin Chu? Huamin was so nervous that he felt his heart clench. Judging from Rick's expression and tone, Huamin knew that this was definitely not a good thing. After 5 seconds of silence, Rick took a deep breath and slowly said, that night, I forced Chin Chu onto the plane and personally escorted him to international waters. My brother's private plane was waiting for him on the other side. After I confirmed that it was my brother's men, I led him onto the plane, but halfway through the flight, there was an explosion 248 nautical miles in the South Pacific Ocean. The plane crashed. Then what about Chin Chu? Huamin seemed to not be able to hear his own voice. Chin Chu, his whereabouts are unknown. But in that situation, the chances of him surviving are very small. We've been searching for him for 3 days, but we still haven't found anything. The only thing we can confirm is that everyone on the plane is dead. So Chin Chu. Huamin fell on a hospital bed with a thud. Instantly, coldness spread throughout his body. Chapter 16:28. He felt as if the sky was falling down and the world was about to be destroyed. His brain had also lost the ability to think. Huamin, I'm so sorry. I let you down. You trusted me so much, but all that was left in Rick's heart was guilt after calming down for a while. Huamin opened his mouth slightly. It's good news that his whereabouts are unknown. It means Mr. Chin is fine, right? Huamin. Rick looked at Huamin in surprise. Rick, you don't have to blame yourself. You'll always be Chin Chu's best friend. When we were in trouble, you weren't there to watch. The plane crash wasn't something you could have predicted, so please don't be sad. I believe that Chin Chu is still alive. Rick didn't know why, but after hearing Huamin's words, he felt even sadder. Thank you for telling me this. I think Chin Chu has something important to do right now. When he's done, he'll come back to me. So, I won't worry or be sad. I'll wait for him to come back. Then, Huamin placed his hand on his stomach. He gently touched it. Babies, your daddy will be fine, right? At that moment, the cold-blooded Rick almost shed tears. Huamin, Rick had so many things to say, but at that moment he didn't know what to say. Other than apologizing, regretting, and blaming himself, he didn't know what else to say. Rick, when you have time, remember to bring Cece to me. She's so cute and innocent. I like her so much. You have to treat her well, and don't let her down. I can tell that she cares about you a lot. Okay, when she's on vacation, I'll bring her here. Huamin, you have to take good care of yourself. I will. I'm not alone anymore. I have the babies. I have to take good care of them and wait for Mr. Chin to come back. Rick walked out of the room with a sad heart. How is she? What's wrong with her? Suyu asked nervously. Go in and take a look. Rick was in a bad mood as he left the hospital with a heavy heart. Suyu paced back and forth at the door for a long time before he finally decided to knock on the door and go in. You're here. Huamin smiled. You? Suyu was a little surprised. Huamin shouldn't have such an expression right now. Do you want to ask if Rick told me about Chin Chu? Yes. Suyu nodded. He said, then you? Suyu hesitated. I'm fine. I believe that Chin Chu is still alive. You guys are too pessimistic. I'm really fine. All right, come here. I'll let you try the chrysanthemum I made today. I think it tastes pretty good. Then, Huamin poured a cup of tea for Suyu. Suyu looked at Huamin, not knowing what to do. This shouldn't be the current Huamin, right? Don't worry about me. I'm strong. I'm pregnant. I'm a mother of the babies. How can I cry so casually? Huamin, you have to be strong. Suyu really didn't know how to comfort him. Of course. Huamin smiled slightly. However, for some reason, Suyu felt that Huamin's smile was especially dazzling today. It hurt his eyes because he vaguely saw the sadness behind Huamin's bright smile. How are you feeling today? Suyu asked worriedly. Chapter 16:29. Very good. Did you eat something tonight? Yes. I had a bowl of rice and a bowl of soup. The food here is really good. It's way better than its south side. Then eat more. If you want to eat something, call me if they don't have it here. Okay, then. Rest early, I'm going back now. Suyu stood up with a heavy heart. Don't worry, I'll eat and sleep well. Huamin was still comforting Suyu, which made Suyu feel even worse. It wasn't until Suyu disappeared out the door. Only then did Huamin stop smiling. She sat quietly on the bed and looked out the window, her eyes filled with a sadness that no one else could understand. After Suyu left the military hospital, his heart began to ache. He knew that Huamin was just pretending to be strong and nonchalant. She couldn't be so open-minded. He received a call from Tang Chuan, so he drove straight to Wei Liao's house. Jiang Xiaowei and Wei Liao were there, as were Tang Chuan and Jixin. Did you just come back from the hospital? Jiang Xiaowei immediately asked when she saw Suyu's worried expression. Immerse, big brother Suyu, how's my sister? Suyu wanted to say something, but he stopped. Did you tell her about that? Jiang Xiaowei guessed when she saw Suyu's complicated expression. I didn't. Rick did. Rick is there? Everyone was shocked. Suyu didn't say anything. He only nodded. Big brother Suyu, is my sister okay? Jixin was extremely nervous. Huamin must be heartbroken, right? Tang Chuan guessed. On the contrary, she doesn't look sad at all. But that's what I'm worried about the most. Suyu silently lowered his head. Jiang Xiaowei said with heartache. In psychology, if a person is depressed to the extreme, they will bury it all in their heart. It's not like those who express their feelings on the surface, such as sadness or crying. This kind of sadness is buried in the bottom of their heart and not let others see it. They bear it all by themselves. So she must be very sad right now, right? Wei Liao asked after he finished speaking. Everyone fell silent. What should we do? Is there any way to help my sister? Jixin looked at Jiang Xiaowei anxiously. No, she's just going through it herself. Your sister has a high IQ and EQ. She knows a lot of things without us telling her. So, in front of her, no matter how much we say to comfort her, it's meaningless. It doesn't have any healing effect. My sister must be so sad. I'm so useless. Jixin was a boy, but even he couldn't take it anymore. Tears fell from his eyes. Jixin, you have to believe in your sister. She's pregnant with 2 babies. Even if she doesn't think about others, she'll think about the babies. Xiaowei comforted Jixin. Sir, dinner's ready. The Wei family's housekeeper walked over and said respectfully to Wei Liao, let's go eat first. We'll talk about Huamin later. You guys eat. I'm going to go now. Suyu was still in low spirits. He got up and left the Wei family's house. Lord Su seems very sad, Tang Chuan quietly said. Of course. He likes Huamin so much. How can he not be sad? Wei Liao watched as Suyu's car drove away. Unfortunately, there's only one Huamian, so she can only let down Lord Su's heart. Xiaowei chimed in. If Qin Chu really dies, then I don't know if Lord Su will have a chance. After all, Huamin is still young, Tang Chuan said without thinking. However, Jixin was angered. He glared at Tang Chuan. My brother-in-law won't die. He'll come back. Then, Jixin turned around and went upstairs. Tang Chuan was slightly embarrassed. He forgot that Jixin was still here and said something wrong. In a military hospital, Huamin lay flat on the bed with his hand on his stomach. His eyes were filled with complicated emotions that others couldn't understand. They all said you died, she said softly. Chapter 16:30. But I believe that you're still alive. You'll come back, right? Huamin's voice was very low and soft. She was like a lonely and helpless child. She didn't know when, but she slowly closed her eyes. It was as if she saw a mountain full of red leaves. The autumn on Yunding Mountain was unbelievably beautiful. It was like the stunning colors of an artist's brush. Huamin saw the man on the stairs. He was wearing a white shirt and a black suit, and he was smiling brightly. Honey, what are you waiting for? Give me your hand. I'll pull you away. She saw Chin Chu reach out his hand. He was so close to her, she reached out her hand to pull him, but she couldn't reach him. Mian, give me your hand. He repeated again. Huamin was powerless. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't reach him. She felt like she was missing something, an invisible obstacle. Honey, come closer. I can't reach you. Chin Chu slowly walked down the stairs. He was getting closer and closer. Suddenly, blood began to seep out of the corner of his mouth, and more blood gushed out. Huamin screamed in fear. She wanted to rush up, but she couldn't touch him. She could only watch as he clutched his chest and fell to the ground. Then he rolled down the stairs. Chin Chu. She screamed at the top of her lungs and woke up from her dream. The nurse heard her scream and rushed in. Miss Hua, are you okay? I'm fine. Huamin's voice trembled slightly. She lowered her head, and there were tears at the corner of her eyes. Did you have a nightmare? Yes. Then I'll get you a glass of warm water. It's okay. You can leave. The nurse comforted Huamin for a while. Seeing that she was fine, she left. Suyu was home, and he couldn't calm down in the dorm. He couldn't sleep at night because he was worried about Huamin's condition. Xiaowei said that it wasn't that Huamian wasn't sad. She was just hiding her sadness. She chose to bear it alone. The more Suyu thought about it, the more his heart hurt. He reached out his hand and pressed his chest hard, as if to make it feel better. Just then, his phone rang. He glanced at it. It was a military landline, and he immediately picked it up. Young Master Su, do you want to come take a look? What's wrong? Miss Wood doesn't seem to be in a good mood. I think she had a nightmare. She yelled and cried. I'll be there. After hearing the nurse's words, Su immediately got dressed. Then, he drove to the military hospital. When he entered Huamian's Huamin, don't be afraid. I'm still here. Seeing that Huamin didn't respond, so you carefully walked over and comforted her. Didn't you say that no news is good news? His whereabouts are unknown, so it means he's fine. Don't be sad you're pregnant. You have to think about the baby. Professor Luo told me that a pregnant woman's emotions can seriously affect the baby's personality in the future. So, Huamin, you have to be strong. Suyu's voice was very gentle. He never knew how to comfort girls. Perhaps this was the most gentle he had ever been. He knelt down beside Huamin. Then, he gently patted her back. It was as if he was comforting a child. Slowly, Huamin raised her head and looked at Suyu with tears streaming down her face. I miss him so much. Can you take me to him? Suyu was slightly stunned. He didn't know how to answer. Chapter 16:31. Suyu, can you take me to him? Huamin begged again. Okay, Suyu helped Huamin up from the ground and onto the bed. It's too late now. Go to sleep. I'll take you there tomorrow. Do you know where I'm going? Yes. Will you take me there? Yes. Upon hearing Suyu's answer, Huamin smiled slightly. Then go to sleep first? Okay? Okay. Suyu helped Huamin lie down and covered her with a blanket. Are you hungry? He asked. Huamin shook her head. Do you want to drink some water? Huamin continued to shake her head. Then, do you want to eat some fruit? No. Then close your eyes and go to sleep. Don't think about anything, okay? Okay. What about you? Huamin looked at Suyu and asked. I'm fine. I'll stay here and watch over you for a while. I'll leave after you fall asleep. Okay. Suyu sat by the bed and quietly watched over Huamin. Half an hour later, Huamin fell asleep again. Suyu turned his head and quietly looked at her. Under the light, Huamin's delicate face looked even more beautiful and peaceful. Suyu's heart was moved. He couldn't help but raise his hand, wanting to touch her smooth and fair face. However, halfway through, he slowly retracted his hand. He couldn't. Huamin, you have to be well. Suyu's voice was very low. Just like that, he sat in a hospital room for 4 hours, until dawn. When the skies slightly brightened, Suyu walked out of the room. Young Master Su, you didn't sleep last night? The nurse was shocked. How's her appetite now? I didn't eat anything last night. Then I'll go out and buy some rice to make porridge. Then So you turned around and left the hospital? The young nurse was slightly shocked. There was no medical staff in the local military region who didn't know Suyu. Everyone knew that he was the grandson of Commander Su, the CEO of an entertainment company and a godly tycoon, the young master of the Su family. But wasn't such a man rumored to have a violent temper? How could he be so patient to take care of a woman? He even personally bought rice and came back to cook porridge. At this moment, the nurse was very envious of Huamin, who was lying in the hospital room. She didn't know what kind of charisma Huamin had to make someone like Suyu bow down to him. 6 o'clock in the morning when Huamin woke up, Suyu had already finished cooking the porridge. You're awake. Hurry up and eat. You didn't leave? Huamin was slightly surprised. Oh, I'm old, so I don't feel sleepy. I was waiting for the sun to come up, so I went out to the supermarket to buy some rice. I don't know what flavor you like, but I think my cooking is pretty good. When I was in the military, I often cooked porridge for myself during field survival training. Try it, it shouldn't be too bad. Suyu scooped a bowl of porridge and handed it to Huamin. Suyu. Huamin's voice was a little choked up. Yeah. You're so long-winded. Huamin looked at Suyu with tears in her eyes. Then, without waiting for his reply, she took the porridge from his hand and ate it silently. Huamin wasn't heartless. She knew that Suyu was good to her, but she couldn't repay him. So, it had become a heavy burden in her heart. Eat more. When you're done, I'll take you to a place. Where? Huamin looked up and was slightly surprised. Aren't you going to find Qinshu? Chapter 1632. Upon hearing Suyu's words, Huamin was slightly surprised as well. She said what she said last night when she was weak. She didn't think that Suyu would actually take it seriously. But where was she going to find Qinshu? Huamin thought about this, but she didn't say anything. Instead, she quietly lowered her head and ate the congee. How does it taste? Suyu asked slightly nervously. Very good. Upon hearing Huamin's words, he let out a sigh of relief. Then Huamin asked, but I really want to know, how many types of rice did you put in this bowl of congee? About 7 or 8 types, maybe a dozen. I'm not sure. I forgot to check. Suyu scratched his head awkwardly. When he went to the supermarket to buy rice, he was very hesitant. The salesperson introduced him to all kinds of rice, and he didn't lack money, so he thought that all of them were good. But rice, millet, sorghum, glutinous rice, sticky corn, brown rice, he brought back a little bit of each type. By the time he finished cooking it, he was already drunk. The color was simply too beautiful. Luckily, Huamin didn't mind and could still drink it. Huamin took a small sip and then calmly looked at Suyu. Are you sure this isn't 8 treasure congee? No. Suyu answered in all seriousness. Huamin smiled. Am I poisoned? I don't think so. It's all food. Okay, I give up. Huamin saw that Suyu was also confused, so he didn't ask any more questions. After eating the congee, Huamin listened to Suyu and quietly adjusted her clothes. Jixin went to South Hill Manor to get the clothes for her. Huamin chose an apricot yellow lace dress with lotus leaf sleeves and a retro style. The hemline of the dress was very long, and it was very conservative. It was very much in line with Huamin's conservative personality. You're wearing too little. Put on another jacket. The wind is strong on the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean. Huamin was speechless. It wasn't until she and Suyu took a private plane to the South China Sea and changed to a cruise ship, Huamin finally understood why Suyu wanted to take her to Qinshu. It turned out that they were really coming to the Pacific Ocean to look for Qinshu at the place where he crashed. Because the Pacific Ocean was international waters, Suyu couldn't use any military forces. She was too embarrassed to ask her grandfather. Therefore, he spent a huge sum of money to hire cruise ships and salvage teams from international shipping companies to continue salvaging. Rick and the Lino brothers tried their best to salvage for 3 days and 3 nights. However, Huamin didn't give up and continued to believe that Qinshu was still alive. Therefore, Suyu followed her without any complaints. The deck is very big. Put on a scarf. Suyu took out a thick scarf and put it on Huamin. Okay. She nodded. Then, she stood on the deck with Suyu. They watched as the cruise ship slowly sailed. When they finally arrived at the crash site, Suyu began to instruct the salvage team. Many of the crew members began to prepare tools and went into the sea. Huamin looked around. In this vast sea, there wasn't even a small island nearby. If an accident happened and they fell into the sea, it would be impossible for them to swim to shore. So, just as everyone said, the possibility of Qin Shu being alive was very low. Suyu, who was standing next to Huamin, turned his head and glanced at Hua Min's expression. He accidentally saw a flash of disappointment in her eyes. Suyu's heart sank again. Chapter 16:33. Therefore, he immediately comforted Hua Qian. Actually, you're right. Qin Shu might still be alive. After all, he's such a smart person. Maybe he knew that Hua Qian would do something like this, so he didn't even get on the plane. Rick said that he personally sent Qin Shu here and got on the plane. Huamin's voice was very soft. Maybe after Rick left, he got off the plane again. Huamin was speechless. The salvage team spent the entire day searching from morning to night until the sun set. The captain of the salvage team walked onto the deck, dripping wet. Mr. Su, let's call it day. It's already dark, and the waves are very strong at night. There are also undercurrents. We can't salvage anything. Okay. Suyu nodded. Mr. Su, I have something to say. I hope you don't like it, the captain said. Suyu didn't say anything. However, Huamin turned his head and looked at the captain. The water in this area is deep and dangerous, and there are often undercurrents. Even an elephant would disappear without a trace if it fell in, let alone a small person. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. The sea is not like a river. It's so big, and it's been a few days. The body might have been eaten by the ferocious fish. Where can we find it? I know you guys don't lack money, but it's meaningless to keep fishing like this. Hua Mian's expression changed as soon as she heard the captain's words. Suyu was exasperated. Why are you wasting your breath? I have money. Do whatever I tell you to do. We'll continue tomorrow. Okay, we'll do as you say, Mr. Su. The captain said helplessly. Huamin looked at the ocean under the setting sun with melancholy in his eyes. Su, yeah? Let's go. It's okay, Huamin. We have time and money. As long as you don't give up, we'll continue. Let's go. The captain is right. What we're doing is indeed meaningless. Then, do you also believe that Qin Shu? I've always believed that Qin Shu is still alive. One day, he will come back to find me. After saying that, Huamin's tears fell uncontrollably. Suyu walked over, took out a tissue, and was about to hand it to her. Huamin's vision went black, and he fell to the ground. Fortunately, Suyu reacted quickly and immediately reached out to hug Huamin. Huamin, wake up! Suyu was scared out of his wits. Fortunately, Suyu was quick-witted enough to know that Huamin was pregnant. He was afraid that she would feel uncomfortable, so he brought along a private doctor. On the private jet back, after the doctor finished examining Huamin, he walked over. How is she? Don't worry, President Su, Miss Hua is fine. She's just too nervous and under too much pressure. That's why she had an emotional breakdown. Also, she's in the early stages of pregnancy and hasn't eaten much. That's not a problem. She'll be fine as long as she gets enough rest. So you looked at Huamin's slightly pale face and felt very guilty. He thought that she would be happy to take Huamin out to sea, but now she seemed to have suffered another blow. When they returned to the military hospital in Sea City, Huamin woke up that night. His friends were also there. Jixin, Jiang Xiaowei, Gao Ran, and Zhu Lingling all rushed over to see Huamin. Huamin slowly opened her eyes. You're all here. Her voice was weak, as if she had no strength left in her. Sis, you scare me to death. Jixin tightly held onto Huamin's hand. I'm fine. I'm just a little tired. Huamin forced a smile. Mian, don't scare us. We're really scared. We already lost Mr. Qin. We don't want to lose you too. Zhu Lingling said without thinking, and after she finished speaking, she burst into tears. Chapter 16:34. Lingling, what are you talking about? Qin Shu is definitely fine. I believe that Huamin and Qin Shu are still alive. Gao Ran didn't have the heart to hear Ling Ling say that Qin Shu was gone. Mian, you're a mother now. You have to think about the baby. Jiang Xiaowei looked at Huamin with heartache. Slightly. I'm really fine. I'm sorry for making everyone worry about me. Don't say sorry at a time like this. Everyone is worried. We just want you and the baby to be fine. Gao Ran looked at Huamin and comforted him. Suyu immediately walked up to him. Go back to sleep. You're too tired. You've been crazy with me. I'm not sleepy. No, you have to go back. Jixin, drive him, Huamin said firmly. Jixin glanced at Suyu behind him, but didn't say anything. Suyu was about to say something when Jiang Xiaowei stopped him. Lord Su, listen to whatever Mian says. Okay, then I'll go back. I'll drive myself. Jixin, drive him, Huamin requested again. Jixin had no choice but to follow Suyu out. You can go back. I'll drive myself. Listen to Sis, she's worried about you. After Jixin spoke, he got into Suyu's Lamborghini and drove for him. On the way back, Jixin slowly said to Suyu, Thank you for liking my sister. Suyu was slightly stunned then. He heard Suyu say, It's because you like her that she's safe now. I know you've done a lot for her. She's always felt guilty. It's nothing. Putting everything else aside, Huamin and I are good friends. What I did for her is nothing. But my sister already has someone she likes. All these years, I've watched her fall in love and get married. She's been on and off with my brother-in-law for 7 years. I feel sad for her, and my heart aches for her. I'm a diehard fan of brother-in-law. Others may not understand him, but I do. Brother-in-law is a very introverted person and isn't good at expressing himself. He's always been good to my sister through his actions. All these years, he's done so much for my sister. Now, this ending is really unfair. I'm also very sad about Qin Shu. Suyu looked away. He really meant what he said. Although he and Qin Shu were rivals in love, Huamin was the one who was most upset about Qin Shu's accident. He didn't want to see Huamin so haggard, so he was truly sad about Qin Shu's accident. What I actually wanted to say is, even if my brother-in-law is really gone, my sister might not choose you, so don't be too good to her. It'll only make you sink deeper and burden her. So you didn't expect Jixin, a young boy, to say something like this. Therefore, he was very shocked. You might think I'm being selfish, but that's the truth. I'm a bystander, and I'm advising you as Huamin's brother. What you've done for my sister, my family is willing to do anything to repay you. But don't add to her burden. She's stubborn. She'll only love my brother-in-law in this life. Even if my brother-in-law really dies, from what I know of my sister, she'll raise the baby alone for the rest of her life. To be honest, Suyu's heart sank when he heard this. Chapter 16:35. It wasn't because he couldn't have it, but because he thought about how Huamin was so young and would have to raise a child for the rest of his life. His heart ached for him. After a moment of silence, he said, You're thinking too much. I think the same as your sister. I believe that Qin Shu isn't dead yet. He'll come back. Before he died, we had a private conversation. Qin Shu also asked me to take care of Huamin. So, before he comes back, I won't let anything happen to Huamin. Also, don't worry. Suyu, may not be an honest man, but I'm definitely not a villain who would take advantage of a situation. I'm good to Huamin. It's my own business. It has nothing to do with anyone else. Upon hearing Suyu's words, Jixin didn't say anything else. They were both smart people, so some things didn't need to be said too clearly. They both understood what was going on. The Su family mansion. Suyu returned home exhausted. Son, you're back. Lady Su immediately walked up to him. I couldn't get through to you, so I went to your company and you weren't there. Oh, I went out today and just came back. Then why do you look so tired? Nothing. I just went out to play. Then Suyu went upstairs to shower and change clothes. When he came down for dinner, he found that he and his mother were the only ones at home. Where's Grandpa? He went to Jing City for a meeting. My dad hasn't been back either. No, your dad seems to be still mad at you. Why would he be mad at me? I didn't do anything to him. Suyu nonchalantly picked up a piece of vegetable and put it in his mouth. My little ancestor, you didn't do anything to him? Haven't you stirred up enough trouble this time? Not just your dad, even your grandpa is angry. You know how hard it is for your grandpa right now. After this incident, what will others think of him? Lady Sue knew the whole story. Although she didn't stop her son, she didn't support what he did either. After all, too many people were involved. Because of one Huamin, the entire Sue family was implicated. They can think whatever they want. We have a clear conscience. Mian isn't a murderer. Why can't we save her? So you said confidently. You child, I thought you had matured and grown up, but looking at you now, you are still so childish. Mom, that's enough. You don't have to lecture me. I've been punished by Grandpa. Son, tell me the truth. You still can't forget Mian, right? Why would I forget? That's weird. So you looked at his mother speechlessly. But she has a husband, and she even has a child now. Silly son, how long are you going to be obsessed with her? I don't think I'm being stubborn. In fact, I'm enjoying it. I think it's good to be able to help her and protect her. So you held his bowl of rice and quibbled with a tough tone. Then are you going to meddle in other people's lives for the rest of your life? You're not going to be yourself anymore. Be a knight forever? A great guardian? Don't you want to be a prince and marry your own princess? Mrs. Sue's heart ached for her son. When she said this, the corners of her eyes were filled with tears. Her heart ached for her son. He was so outstanding, so outstanding. Yet, he had to fall in love with a woman he couldn't have after hearing this. Su Yu's expression changed slightly, and his hand that was picking up food paused. Chapter 1636. After 5 seconds of silence, Su Yu slowly said, Mom, I like being nice to her. So you're going to be like this for the rest of your life? His mother's words were sharp today. What's wrong with being like this for the rest of my life? Su Yu's voice was very low. He didn't dare to look up at his mother. His mother raised her hand and wiped away her tears. Son, I'm not a traditional mother. I won't interfere with you too much. I'll focus on your happiness. That's why all these years, I've never blamed you for messing around outside or spreading rumors, or even when you threatened Grandpa. I'm just afraid. I'm afraid that if you continue to be alone, what will happen when you grow old? Dad and I still have you, but what about you? If you continue to be like this, will you really want to be alone? How can I be at ease when I leave you one day? So you completely understood after his mother finished speaking in a choked voice. It wasn't that his mother didn't want him to like Huamin, nor was she forcing him to get married and have children. She was just afraid that in 100 years she, Dad, and Grandpa would all be gone. He wouldn't even have anyone by his side. He would be alone for the rest of his life. At this moment, he finally understood his mother's good intentions. Mom, you're thinking too much. Huh, that's many years in the future. The children and grandchildren will have their own blessings. Don't worry about me. After speaking, Su Yu lowered his head and continued eating. The next morning, Su Yu went to Imperial Star to take care of business. After the morning meeting, he drove to the military hospital. When he arrived, Huamin was eating a light breakfast of fruits and snacks. She ate very slowly and didn't say a word. The nurse carefully took care of her by the side. You're here. Huamin smiled when she saw Su Yu walk in. MHM, have you had breakfast? Yes, I've had it since 6 p.m. It's a light lunch for the morning. Are you done with the checkup? Yes. The doctor said that everything is normal. Both babies are healthy. That's good. Su Yu sat down on the sofa opposite the bed. Are you bored here? Do you want me to take you to Xiaowei's house? Okay, but wait for me first. I'll finish eating. As he spoke, Huamin lowered his head and ate the food on the CD in a few bites. She was a completely different person from her frail image yesterday. Are you okay? I'm fine. I'm fine. Huamin finished the last bite of his food and picked up his jacket. Let's go, Su Yu. Aren't we going to Xiaowei's house? Huamin continued to ask. Let's go. Su Yu drove Huamin in a very low-key manner. They didn't go to the city center because Huamin's identity was still very sensitive. Therefore, he did not dare to be so ostentatious. By the time they arrived at Jiang Xiaowei's home, it was already over 40 minutes later. Ji Xin went back to Sky Blessing Court, Wei Liao went to work, and Jiang Xiaowei was the only one left at home. When she saw Huamin, she was very happy. Best friends talked about a lot of things. Suyu admired Jiang Xiaowei's rationality and high IQ, so he thought that she should be able to comfort Huamin. Plus, they were both pregnant, so they should have more things to talk about. Suyu took out his phone and opened his email to deal with some company matters. Then he quietly waited for Huamin to come out. At the same time, inside the mayor's office, Mayor Song's face was dark, and he didn't say a word. "Mayor, what should we do now? If the military gets involved, this matter will be really difficult to handle." "Are you sure it was Commander Su's order?" "I'm sure. Everyone knows that Professor Luo works for Commander Su. If he dares to protect the little girl from the Hua family, then it must be Commander Su's idea. I heard that Commander Su's grandson really likes the girl from the Hua family, and there were rumors about them." After the secretary said this, Mayor Song's face became even more gloomy. "Call Commander Su's adjutant and ask him to meet me. I don't want to talk to him." Mayor Song gritted his teeth and said word by word. Chapter 16:37. Suyu and Huamin had lunch at Jiang Xiaowei's place before leaving. They were supposed to go straight back to the military hospital, but Huamin suddenly suggested that they go to Seductive Fox. Suyu was confused, but he still took her there. On the top floor of Seductive Fox, Huamin and Suyu went in together and saw Rick. "Rick, can you get in touch with my in-laws?" "To be honest, I've been trying to get in touch with them, but I don't know why, but I can't get in touch with them. I asked my brother to investigate, and they said that Qin Chu's uncle moved and doesn't live where he used to live anymore. I'm guessing that they're worried about their own safety, so they're hiding their whereabouts. I want to find them. My mother-in-law isn't in good health, and my father-in-law's condition is still critical. Don't worry, I'll ask my brother to keep looking for them. I'll let you know if there's any news." "They probably don't know about Qin Chu yet, right?" Huamin lowered his head. "They already know. After Qin Chu's accident, Uncle Qin Chu called me once, but I haven't heard from him since. They must be very sad." So you comforted him. "Okay then, you must let me know if there's any news. I'm worried about them." Now that Qin Chu's whereabouts were unknown, Huamin was worried about her in-laws. If they knew, they would be as sad as she was. "I'll definitely... Okay then, I'll go back to the hospital now." Huamin was a little disappointed as he followed Suyu out. Cece was looking for Rick for lunch, and she was very excited to see Huamin. "Sister, I finally get to see you." Before Huamin could see clearly, Cece ran up to him and gave him a bear hug. Rick was speechless and held his forehead. His girlfriend was being naughty again. "Long time no see, Cece." Huamin smiled faintly. "I heard that you're back, but you're in the military hospital. It's hard to go there, so Rick didn't take me. He said that he'll ask you out for lunch when he gets better." "Yes, that's right. Rick is right. I heard that you're pregnant. That's great. I'm so happy for you. When will you and Rick have good news?" Huamin asked. Cece's face turned red. "I don't want to marry him. He's a block. I don't want to propose to you." Cece to Cece. Hey. Okay, you said it yourself. "Don't propose to me in the future, or you'll be slapped in the face." Cece's twos was to see her. Cece twos to test to twos, he s to there, s's to twos. They be twos to two. Twos two. Seductive Fox was still closed, and it was still daytime. What was he doing here? At that moment, Suyu and Huamin were both nervous. Huasiqian's car slowly stopped in front of Seductive Fox. He was wearing a dark purple suit. There was a faint smile on his face from the moment he got out of the car. His eyes were fixed on Huamin. His gaze never left her. "Don't be scared. I won't let him hurt you." Seeing that Huamin was a little nervous, Suyu pulled Huamin behind him to shield him. "Hello, little sister Mian. I haven't seen you in so long. I missed you." "Huasiqian, what do you want?" Suyu looked at him impolitely. "Didn't you see? Catching up with my sister?" "I'm not your sister," Huamin said coldly. "I heard you're pregnant. Twins? Haha, congratulations." Huasiqian's gaze shifted to Huamian's belly. Huamin felt Huasiqian's strange gaze and became even more nervous. She subconsciously pulled her shirt up to cover her belly. Chapter 1638. I don't need your congratulations. Huamin coldly rejected Hua Xiqian's congratulations. Hua Xiqian narrowed his eyes and smiled. Then he slowly walked towards Huamin. For some reason, Huamin was terrified. She subconsciously took a step back, reached out her hand, and tugged on the corner of Su Yu's shirt. Don't go near her. Su Yu angrily reminded her. Young Master Su, what are you worried about? I haven't seen my little sister in a long time, and I miss her. I don't need your fake affection. Get out of my way. Su Yu slightly furrowed his brows. His attitude towards Hua Xiqian was extremely rude, as if he was ready to attack at any moment. Hua Xiqian could also see Su Yu's anger, so he stopped 2 meters away from Huamin. Then, he smiled at Huamin. Take care of your baby. Eat more. After speaking, Hua Xiqian turned around, went back to his car, and drove away. When Su Yu turned around, he saw that Huamin's expression was a little ugly. He reached out and removed Huamin's hand from his shirt and comforted her. Don't be scared, he's gone. MHM, Huamin. MHM? She looked up. I won't let anyone hurt you. Huamin nodded heavily. She trusted Su Yu a lot, because Su Yu is someone who used all kinds of methods to drag her out of that dark prison. She didn't know how difficult the process was, but for Su Yu, it wasn't easy at all. Therefore, Huamin cherished this rare friendship with Su Yu even more. But how was she going to repay this huge favor? On the way back, Huamin was silent. She leaned against the passenger seat and turned her head to look out the window, looking like she had a lot on her mind. Su Yu casually picked up the thin blanket in the back seat and covered Huamin with it. Don't catch a cold, he said. MHM. She still gave a simple MHM. They drove Huamin all the way to the military hospital for a checkup. Then, the nurse brought Huamin some afternoon tea. Su Yu watched her finish it 1 sip at a time before leaving. As he walked out of the hospital, Su Yu called, There's something that you need to handle. Okay, I'll be right back. Su Yu went back to Imperial Star and worked all afternoon. To tea tests, I think. Tea today. When? I was surprised. When I drove Mion back to the military hospital, I wasn't sure because there were a lot of cars on the road. It wasn't just one car following us. But I have a feeling that something's wrong, so it's better to be careful. Maybe someone with a lot of tricks is afraid that I'll find out. So they use some tricks. Do you remember the license plate number? I'll check it out, and asked. Su Yu nodded and carefully recalled what he saw in the rearview mirror. Then he said 2 license plate numbers that he clearly remembered and continued. These 2 weren't the only ones following me. There was also a silver gray Honda with a license plate number that I didn't see clearly. It was a little far away. There was also a dark green Honda with a license plate number that I didn't see clearly, but their whereabouts are very suspicious. Check them all. It's best if you check the surveillance cameras. Which section of the road? Su Yu tried his best to recall, and then said slowly, when I got off the Furong Bridge at the intersection with Mingda Road. Look at the cars on my left and right. See if there's anything suspicious. Okay, I'll check it out right now. And turned around and walked out the door. Su Yu was also packing up and about to get off work. Just then, there was a knock on the door. Come in. Chapter 1639. Su Yu looked up and saw Jian Tong in a dark green trench coat. Jian Tong had a great figure. She was tall and thin, and she was a little cold. She was very popular recently. So many rich people were chasing after her, including many tycoons and second-generation heirs. Since Su Yu and her hadn't developed a relationship, those who were on the sidelines began to make their moves. This made Jian Tong very anxious recently, so she applied to go to Australia to film a movie. Su Yu hadn't seen her in a long time. President Su, Jian Tong, was the first to speak. You're back. Jian Tong nodded. I've already finished filming. Oh, how did it go? It went well. That's good. Su Yu nodded and didn't say anything else. He lowered his head and began to organize the documents on his desk. Then, he picked up the phone charger on the desk and walked out. President Su, what's up? Tonight's the wrap party. The director and the others are all there, so everyone wants to celebrate. Oh, then you guys go. Remember to ask for receipts for all the expenses. You can just reimburse the finance department later. No, President Sue, I wanted to ask if you could come with us. We haven't hung out with you in a long time, and we all miss you. Jian Tong directly explained why she was here. Suyu looked down at his watch. I can't today. I have something to do. Next time, you guys have fun. Okay. Jian Tong's eyes flashed with slight disappointment. After work, Suyu went straight to a nutrition store in a high-end mall. When he saw the dazzling array of nutrition products, he was dumbfounded. Sir, is there anything you need? I can introduce you to them. The salesperson was very enthusiastic. Do you have nutrition product for pregnant women? Of course, follow me. I'll introduce you. Okay. Suyu was a little embarrassed. He followed the salesperson to another row of shelves. How far along is your wife? The salesperson asked with a smile. Suyu blushed slightly. She's not my wife. She's my friend. Oh, I'm sorry. How long has your friend been pregnant? About 2 months ago. Suyu tried hard to recall. Oh, then she should take folic acid tablets for another month. In the early stages of pregnancy, she needs to take folic acid tablets for 3 months, but she's already 2 months pregnant, so she'll be fine after taking folic acid tablets for another month. Okay, give me one of these, Suyu said quietly. There's also the calcium tablets imported from the United States that need to be supplemented, because the older a pregnant woman is, the less calcium her body has. When the time comes, she won't be able to supply the baby and herself. All right, I'll have one too. And this DHA deep sea fish oil. You have to eat it all the time too. It can develop your baby's brain. And this milk powder for pregnant women, it's very nutritious. Bye. The shop assistant was all smiles as she helped Suyu pack all kinds of bags. It was like meeting the god of fortune. Ever since Suyu entered the store, the word he said the most was bye. He was indeed a tycoon. In less than 10 minutes, Suyu had bought more than 100,000 yuan worth of supplements. In the end, the car couldn't fit all of them, so the store owner sent a car to follow Suyu to the hospital. At 7 p.m., Suyu drove to the hospital. Huamin was listening to music. He was in a relatively calm mood. The 60-square-meter ward was luxuriously decorated. It was comparable to a 5-star hotel room and had everything. It was said that the bed was very expensive. It was multifunctional and could be assembled freely. Huamin leaned on the bed and listened to soothing music. When he saw the things Suyu brought, he was stunned. Oh my God, what are these? Huamin looked at the mountain of supplements and was speechless. Chapter 1640. I bought you some supplements. Huamin almost spat out blood. There were so many supplements, she probably wouldn't be able to finish them all. Was Suyu crazy? There's too much. I really can't finish them all. It's okay. There's a lot of flavors. I didn't know which one you liked, so I bought all of them. You can eat whatever you want. It's such a waste. It's not a waste, eat them. Huamin, have you been busy with the company lately? Huamin changed the topic. It's okay. I'm not very busy. Huasiqian also started an entertainment company. Now that GK is under his control, we're no match for him. Did he do anything to you? No. That's good. Huamin nodded, relieved. Even if he did, I'm not afraid of him. It's fine. You're not afraid of him. It's just that he's too despicable. You'll be at a disadvantage. I'm not afraid. The world is fair. Everyone has one life, so I'll fight him. At worst, I'll give up my life. Suyu had a fiery personality like a ball of fire. It was as if he could set people on fire at any moment, so he was always full of arrogance and made people look arrogant. Qin Shu, on the other hand, was the complete opposite. He was quiet and cold. His personality was too calm, as if he could freeze people at any moment. Therefore, he was always cold and depressed. But that was how people were. There were no two identical leaves in the world, so there would never be two identical people. Whether it was Qin Shu or Suyu, they both had their own unique personalities. However, Huamin knew that they were both kind. Therefore, compared to them, Huasiqian didn't lose in fame, power, looks, or aura. He lost with a heart without love. Huamin laughed. Don't say that. You perish together with him. That's because he's a bad guy, and you're a good guy. I'm not a good person. Don't give me the good guy card. So you also laughed. That's right. There's something that I've always found strange. You can pay attention to it when you're free. All right, go ahead, Huamin said in all seriousness. Once, I worked late at GK, and the elevator suddenly broke down and the lights went off. I took the stairs, and someone chased after me. I was so scared that I broke out in a cold sweat. Although there was no light, with the moonlight, I could clearly see that the person was Huasiqian. However, when I asked him later, he didn't admit it. From his expression, it didn't seem like he was hiding anything. He didn't seem to know what happened that night. It's normal that he didn't admit it. Who would admit to doing something so despicable? So you didn't think much of it. No, I'm a good judge of character. Huasiqian has no reason to deny it. While I lived at Sky Blessing Court, he visited my house. When I asked him later, he admitted to it. So there's no reason for him to lie about that. Could it be that there's really someone who looks exactly like him? Twins? So you froze. No, I think that person is him. Later on, he kept a woman named Wang Shasha. That woman also came to me. She said that Huasiqian kept her for so long, but he never touched her. However, one time, he suddenly came to her house and slept with her without saying a word. Later on, that woman got pregnant, but Huasiqian said that the child wasn't hers and that he never touched her. He probably didn't want to admit it. All scumbags are like that, so you interrupted. Huamin shook his head. No, Mo Shuer also got pregnant. Huasiqian admitted to it and asked her to get an abortion. I don't think Huasiqian would lie, and there's no reason for him to. The point is, Wang Shasha told me the same thing. The person I saw that night was definitely Huasiqian, but the expression on his face was very unfamiliar. I've never seen him before, and he looked like a completely different person. Could it be that he has intermittent amnesia? So you guessed. No, I suspect that he might have severe dissociative identity disorder, Huamin slowly said. Dissociative identity disorder? So he was a little confused. Chapter 1641. Huamin nodded. That's my guess, but I'm not sure yet. I've never heard of it before. It's a type of mental illness, right? It's a very serious psychological disorder. It means that there are two souls living in the same body. Other than the original personality, another person will be born. They don't know about each other's existence, so when they become another person, they'll forget everything they've done. Holy shit, that's weird. This was the first time Suyu heard about the existence of such a person, so he was also surprised. Yeah, that's true. I've only heard about it on TV or in novels. So it really does exist. Of course, Xiao Wei should know better. I plan to discuss this with her another day. If he really has dual personality disorder, does he still have to take responsibility for the people he's killed? Suyu's question made Huamin slightly silent. I've thought about this as well. The reality is cruel. He can't take responsibility because it's a type of mental illness. Once he's confirmed to have this illness, he won't be sentenced to death. That's too fair. Wouldn't that be letting that bastard off easy? Suyu was extremely angry. But don't worry, this is just my initial guess. We can't be sure if it's true. After all, Huasiqian is a cunning villain. Huamin, are you afraid of him? Suyu asked worriedly when he saw Huamin's nervous expression when she saw Huasiqian. To be honest, I'm not afraid of him. But I'm especially afraid that he'll hurt my babies. If it's proven that he tampered with my food at Southside and South Hill Manor, then it means that he doesn't want me to have children. Now that I'm pregnant with twins, I'm afraid he'll have other thoughts. No matter what, I have to protect the babies. Right now, Chinchu's whereabouts are unknown. If something happens to the babies, then I don't want to live anymore. Huamin was very rational and didn't say these words in an agitated manner. She said it in a very calm tone, which added to the authenticity of her words. That was what Huamin thought. Therefore, Suyu began to feel a vague sense of fear in his heart. She had to protect Huamin and the child. Otherwise, if anything happened to the child, Huamin would not be able to live on. Don't worry. With me here, he won't do anything to you. I won't give him the chance. Suyu made a promise. Huamin smiled and didn't say anything else. Next day at noon, when Lord Su returned from Jingdu, The first thing he was told was that Mayor Song had invited him for tea. He immediately knew what was going on. Thus, he nodded and gladly went forward. In a hidden tea garden on the outskirts of Sea City, a particularly elegant room was emptied out. It was filled with mahogany furniture. The high-quality tea set and tea leaves had already been brewed, emitting a strong tea aroma. "Is it Tai Guanyin? It smells so good," Master Lord Su said as he walked in. He was followed by bodyguards. Mayor Song immediately stood up. "Commander Su, sit down, don't be so polite. This isn't a military base, yes." Mayor Song slowly sat down and poured a cup of tea for Commander Su. "Commander Su, try it. I heard that you like Tai Guanyin very much." Mayor Song smiled fawningly. Chapter 1642. MHM. I really like this taste. Back in the days when conditions were tough, we didn't even have food to eat, but we had a lot of tea leaves. When I was training new recruits in the mountains of Fujian, sometimes I was so hungry that I would just eat tea leaves. I've always remembered this taste. It was tough back then, but now the world is peaceful. Thank you, Commander. What's there to work for? I work for the country, and the leaders work even harder. Commander Su and Mayor Song spoke in a bureaucratic tone, neither in a hurry to get to the main topic. After chatting for a while, Mayor Song slightly opened his mouth and said, "Uncle Su, to be honest, I didn't ask you to come here today to drink tea. I really have something to talk about." Hearing this, Lord Su immediately turned to the guard and said, "You can leave now." But the guard seemed to be worried. "It's okay, you can leave." "Yes, sir." After the guard left, only Lord Su and Mayor Song were left in the large room. Mayor Song was in his early 50s. He was 1 or 2 years older than Su Yu's father. Lord Su was in his 70s, so it wasn't too much to call him uncle. "Qing Kingdom. We've known each other for a long time. You're in the government, and I'm in the military. Although we haven't interacted much, I've seen how well you've built this city over the years, and I'm very happy." "Uncle Su, don't say that. I'm just doing what I should do. I'm happy to see our hometown growing stronger day by day. I remember I came to you once, wanting to be in-laws with you. But my daughter didn't have the fortune, so it didn't happen. You must have heard about what happened a while ago. My daughter passed away at such a young age, and I've been feeling very heavy lately. I can't calm down for a while. I'm in my 50s, and I only have one daughter. Now that she's gone, our Song family is going to have no descendants. I'm very sad. It's like she never left." Speaking of this, Mayor Song's eyes began to fill with tears. He loved his daughter very much. Even though she had been dead for so long, he still couldn't let it go. Perhaps the real reason was that the murderer who killed Song Yisher had yet to pay with his life. Mayor Song already regarded Huo Min as the murderer of his daughter, so he hated him to the core. Now that she was rescued by Commander Su, how could she feel good? "I've heard about it too. My condolences. Life is unpredictable. We can't fight against fate." Master Lord Su consoled him. "Yes. Actually, if my Shur died in a car accident or from an illness, that would be fine. She and I aren't fated to be father and daughter, so I can't force her. It's just that she died a terrible death. The media didn't leak any details, but I believe you already know that she was killed and then dismembered." "I've heard a little." Commander Su nodded. "Her murderer has turned himself in at the local prison. It's just that I heard that she was taken away by the military a few days ago. She was supposed to be executed, but they took her away at a time like this. I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. And I heard that those people were your subordinates, so I thought." Mayor Song didn't continue. He believed that Commander Su already understood what he was trying to say. Since Lord Su was here, he was already mentally prepared. When he heard Mayor Song's words, he first let out a long sigh, then slowly stood up with his hands behind his back. Chapter 1643. Master Lord Su continued, "I should have told you about this earlier, but I was in a hurry and had to attend a meeting in Jingdu, so I didn't have the time to tell you. The thing is, the girl who is suspected of being the murderer is my grandson's good friend. She asked my military doctor to do something for her. Professor Luo liked her a lot, so he took her as his apprentice and gave her a military rank. I didn't know about any of this. After all, I rarely ask about the military doctor. But after this incident, soldiers with military ranks will be taken away by the military district for investigation and court-martial. The people in Jingdu were going to interrogate her, but they found out that she was 2 months pregnant, so she applied for medical parole. That's it. As far as I know, her actions are still restricted. She has no freedom and is not out of the law. But there's one thing that's very strange. Logically speaking, a 2-month pregnant woman shouldn't be locked up, right? The local prison should also have a physical examination. How come they didn't find anything? After Commander Su finished speaking, he looked at Mayor Song with a meaningful look. His expression changed, and then he replied awkwardly, "Maybe they were careless and didn't find out? That's too careless. After all, this is a matter of life and death. If our people didn't take her away, she would have been executed by shooting. 2 lives would have been lost. Uncle Su, to put it bluntly, I just want to seek justice for my daughter. Since ancient times, people pay with their lives. I don't think it's possible to escape responsibility just because she's pregnant. If all the women killed people while pregnant, wouldn't it be a mess? The country wouldn't have any laws. So, I think you shouldn't get involved in this matter, okay? Because you're making it very difficult for me. Please understand the pain of losing a daughter as a father." After speaking, Mayor Song took out a handkerchief and wiped his tears. This was a very good way to play the sympathy card. Seeing Mayor Song cry like this, the old man's heart inevitably softened. Qing Kingdom, to tell you the truth, I'm not being meddlesome in this matter. I really have no other choice. I also have my own difficulties. How do I put it? A life for a life. This girl is now locked up in the military and won't go far. After she gives birth, we will strictly investigate. After all, this case seems to be very suspicious. We will investigate it thoroughly and give your daughter an explanation. If she really killed someone, then she must be tried and punished. Master Lord Su's words were full of righteousness. Mayor Song was left speechless. In the end, he could only nod. "Thank you, Uncle Su, not at all. This is what I should do. The military also has its own position. Let's all understand each other." Yes. Mayor Song didn't dare to say anything more. After all, Lord Su had already made it very clear. Late at night, Huamin tossed and turned. Unable to fall asleep, she got up, walked to the window, and secretly took out a cigarette. Every time she was in a bad mood, she really wanted to smoke. Just as he was about to put the cigarette into his mouth, she suddenly remembered that she was pregnant, so she held the cigarette in her hand and looked out the window with a melancholic expression. Since Qin Shu came back to the country, they got married in a flash, and now she was pregnant. Qin Shu's whereabouts were unknown, and she didn't even know if he was dead or alive. Everything felt like a dream. "Qin Shu, you're not really going to abandon me, right?" Huamin's voice trembled slightly. Just then, she heard a squeaking sound coming from outside. "Who is it?" Huamin turned around and asked in a panic. Chapter 1644. When Huamin turned around, he vaguely saw a black figure floating by the door. He only noticed it because there was a small window on the door. Huamin immediately ran over and opened the door. He ran out and vaguely saw a man's figure. Huamin mustered up his courage and chased after him, but there was no trace of that person in the hallway. "That's weird. Where did he go?" "Miss Wu, what's wrong?" Hearing the commotion, the nurse responsible for taking care of Huamin immediately ran over to check on him. "Nothing. I think I saw a figure. A figure? A man or a woman?" The nurse was shocked. "A man tall, wearing black clothes." "What about his appearance? Did you see him clearly?" "No. I just vaguely saw a figure sneaking around my door." Now that she thought about it, she was a little scared. If Huamin hadn't heard the sound and turned around in time, that person would have silently broken into Huamin's room. It was too scary at night. "Oh my God, that's too scary. I'll go tell them to strengthen the security outside. Young Master Su said, nothing can go wrong. We must protect you well. Don't tell Suyu. I don't want him to worry, Huamin instructed. Okay. The nurse didn't know the relationship between Huamin and Suyu, so she didn't dare to ask. However, when Huamin returned to his room, the nurse still secretly called Suyu. Perhaps she wanted to leave a good impression on this super rich guy. The nurse vividly described what happened in the middle of the night, and even described Huamin's pale face due to fear. Suyu was about to go to bed, but after hearing what the nurse said, he didn't even put on his pajamas. He immediately got up, put on his clothes, and got out of bed. Then, he gave in a call. President Su, how's the thing I asked you to investigate? It's really suspicious. There's something wrong with those cars. Whose men? We're not sure if it's Hua Xiqian or Mayor Song, but we're sure that you're being followed. Their target is probably Miss Hua. So you didn't say anything. Boss, I don't think Miss Hua is safe. You should protect her carefully, and added. I got it. So he was a little annoyed. He hung up the phone and couldn't sleep anymore. She wanted to call Huamin because there was a landline in her room. However, he looked at his watch again. It was too late, and he was afraid that he would disturb her. He got up and smoked a cigarette, then went downstairs to make a cup of coffee. However, she accidentally overheard the conversation between her mother and grandfather. Dad, did you see Mayor Song today because Suyu protected that girl? Lady Su asked. Yes. Master Lord Su nodded. What does he mean? Are you dissatisfied with our Su family's interference in this matter? Of course he's dissatisfied. After all, he lost his daughter. He also told me about the situation in a roundabout way. What situation? Are we going to hand over the child? No. He didn't directly ask us to hand her over, and he didn't dare to do so. If he did, we wouldn't have done that. He cares a lot about that girl. He would rather use that method to threaten me. So, Sai, since we're already involved in this matter, we have to see it to the end. Dad, will Mayor Song be happy? Will he cause trouble for us? Chapter 1645. He doesn't have the guts to cause trouble for us, but with his personality, I'm afraid he'll do something to that girl. Huamin is in the military hospital right now. The military hospital isn't a very strict place, so there's still a chance for him to do something. Anyway, tell you to be careful. I'm going out tomorrow, so I'm going to rest now. Okay, go to bed early, Dad. After hearing what his grandfather and mother said, Suyu felt very uncomfortable. After Lord Su went back to his room, Lady Su turned around and was about to go upstairs when she saw her son standing in the corner of the second floor. You're not asleep yet? Yeah, then you heard what I said to your grandfather just now. I heard. Suyu nodded. Your grandfather is actually in a difficult position. Mayor Song is still in office, so this matter is very complicated. I don't care who it is, but if they touch Huamin, they're going against me. I don't care if it's a mayor or a governor. Son, you can't be so impulsive. I won't. I know what I'm doing. Mom, don't worry. After speaking, Suyu walked out of the house in the middle of the night. It's so late. Where are you going? I still have some things to do. You should go to bed first. Suyu walked out of the house and immediately called Tang Chuan. What's up? Lord Su, what time is it? Didn't you say you know the boss of a bodyguard company? Yeah. Tell them to send 8 elites over. Huh? 8? Are some superstars coming to your company? Tang Chuan sat up in a daze. No. Then who's going to use them? I told you to do it, so do it. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Ahem. 8 elites, that's a lot of money. I don't lack money. Suyu is extremely generous. Ha! I know you don't lack money, but you can't spend it like this. After all, money doesn't grow on trees. Some of those elite bodyguards are foreigners. They are retired Special Forces soldiers. They're very skilled. Of course, they're very expensive. I'll take it no matter how expensive it is. After all, it has to be foolproof. Okay, I'll call his boss tomorrow morning. No, let's fight now, Suyu insisted. Holy shit, crazy. It's 12:30, Lord Su. My dear grandpa, can you let me have a good sleep? No, hurry up and fight. You win. Under Su Yu's coercion, Tang Chuan immediately called the bodyguard company. He said that it would be ready the next day. However, Su Yu was still worried. In the end, he drove to the military hospital himself. Then, he paced back and forth in the corridor outside Huamin's room. It wasn't until 6 in the morning that he quietly opened the door and went to the kitchen to make Huamin congee. "Why are you here?" Huamin woke up drowsily and saw Su Yu busy in the kitchen. "Oh, I can't sleep well these days, so I came over to make you something to eat." "Actually, you don't have to be so polite. I'm fine here." The military hospital has everything. "I feel really bad seeing you like this." After Huamin woke up, her face without makeup looked even more delicate. However, her mental state was a bit low due to her pregnancy. Before she had time to wash her face, she walked over with her fluffy hair. When she saw that Su Yu had already made congee, her heart was filled with gratitude. "We're friends. If Tang Chuan and Wei Liao need me to take care of them, I'll do it. So, don't feel burdened, thank you," Huamin said softly. After Huamin finished her congee, she went for a checkup in the morning. When she came back, she saw 4 tall and burly bodyguards at the door. She was very confused. They're here to protect you," Su Yu quickly explained. Chapter 1646. "You don't have to make such a big fuss." "I'm really fine," Huamin quickly refused. "Don't refuse." Su Yu's words shut Huamin up. "These 4 are here to protect you during the day. For more will come at night, and take turns to be on duty." Huamin was speechless. "Don't be afraid when you sleep." Huamin was speechless, although he didn't know what to say. His heart was filled with gratitude. "You can stay here for the time being because it's easier for you to get checked. When everything is settled and you don't need any more checkups, I'll think of a way to get you out. No matter how good this place is, it's not home. It's just a hospital. I know how lonely you feel. It's okay. This is already good enough." Huamin really didn't dare to ask for more. "Just listen to me. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for the 2 little guys." Su Yu subconsciously looked at Huamin's flat stomach. Huamin lowered his head, covered his stomach with his hand, and smiled happily. "Babies, when you're out, you must thank Uncle Su for taking care of you on behalf of Daddy. When Daddy comes back, I'll thank Uncle Su properly, right?" Su Yu smiled awkwardly. After leaving the military base, Su Yu went straight to work. At noon, he attended an old senior's 60th birthday party. Su Yu drove a black Lamborghini with only his assistant, and he was very low-key. "Hey, young Master Su. Long time no see. Young Master Su, where's your girlfriend? Why isn't Jian Tong here? Nephew Su, how's your father doing? How's the old commander? Lord Su, it's been a long time since he drank with us. What are you busy with?" Ever since Su Yu met Huamin, his entire life had changed. He wasn't as high-profile as before, wandering in high society and living a bohemian life. Therefore, it was actually quite difficult to see him at a business event like this. Therefore, everyone couldn't help but come up and ask him about this and that. So he was a little annoyed. Just as he was about to lose his patience, someone's arrival ignited the anger in his heart again. Hua Xiqian. He was actually here, right next to Mayor Song. He was very high profile. There were reporters and media interviews, so they stood there. "President Hua, are you still close to Mayor Song?" "Of course. He's Shurshu's father, so he's my father. Even if Shurshu's gone, I won't distance myself from him because of this. I'll always be filial to him." "President Hua, you're such a good person. You're a filial son. President Hua always praised you when he was alive." "How could that be? I feel that this is something that young people like us should do. It's really within our duties." "Mayor, what do you think of this son-in-law? Sure is gone, but he still respects me and my wife like we're his elders. I'm very touched. Then in the future, when the city government has good projects, will they give special treatment to President Hua?" "Of course not. I treat everyone equally. Everyone competes fairly." Mayor Song naturally wouldn't be tricked by a small reporter, so his answer was very official. Looking at Hua Xiqian's hypocritical face, Suyu really wanted to rush up and beat him up. President Su calmed down, seeing the anger on his boss's face, and immediately comforted him. Don't worry, I won't beat him up because beating him up isn't enough to calm the anger in my heart. I'll wait and see what happens to him. Suyu knew very well that he and Huasiqian would have a fierce battle. He wouldn't use small fights to show off, therefore he had to prepare for a big fight. He had to be aggressive. He had to avenge Huamin and Qin Chu. Hi, President Su. Long time no see. Huasiqian actually walked up to Suyu and greeted him with a smile. Chapter 1647. Didn't you see her yesterday? Suyu coldly glanced at Huasiqian's face. Really? I don't remember. Look at my memory. I forget a lot of things when I'm drunk. I don't think you forgot. You have a split personality, right? Split personality? Haha. That's an interesting way to put it. Huasiqian swaggered in front of Suyu with a glass of wine in his hand, as if he was provoking him. When no one was paying attention, Huasiqian suddenly lowered his head and whispered into Suyu's ear. He whispered, I've been planning this for so long, but you interrupted me. Tell me, what should I do? Of course, Suyu knew what he meant. Suyu sneered. As long as I'm alive, don't even think about touching a single hair on Huamin's head. You sure know how to brag. Interesting. Huasiqian chuckled with a hint of disdain. If you don't believe me, we'll see. Of course we'll see. I'm not so cowardly that I won't say anything when the fruit I planted is plucked by someone else on the eve of harvest. But Huamin isn't your fruit. You didn't plant it with your own hands. Suyu wasn't convinced. If Qin Chu said something like this, it would be understandable. But if Huasiqian said something like this, it was truly disgusting. I won't discuss this topic with you. Anyway, you'll understand. After Huasiqian said this arrogantly, he walked past Suyu. Even though Suyu was angry, he controlled himself and didn't act rashly. After all, for someone like Huasiqian, even if you beat him up, he wouldn't immediately become a good person. Furthermore, the crimes he had committed couldn't be solved with just a simple beating. Suyu now understood why someone as calm and collected as Qin Chu would have the impulse to kill him. Anyone would want to kill such a person. He was simply public enemy number one, but he was still living and enjoying it. President Su wanted to go up and comfort him. I'm fine, let's go. President Su, have you taken care of the bodyguards? Are we really going to send someone to protect Miss Hua at the hospital? And asked Suyu softly as he drove. Suyu leaned back in his chair and frowned. This matter. I've already made arrangements. By the way, there's a big movie in the company that's about to start filming. It's a period drama, and there's also a commercial performance. President Su, will you be there? I'm not going. Just arrange for a few vice presidents to go over and keep up appearances. I'm a little tired. Okay, got it. I could tell that Suyu wasn't in a good mood, so he didn't dare to say anything else. When Suyu returned to the military hospital, Huamin had just returned from a walk in the backyard of the hospital. A nurse carefully supported her. Her complexion was much better than before. Her figure was also slightly rounder. You're back? Are you tired? Suyu walked over and asked gently. Huamin shook her head. What do you want to eat for lunch? Nothing. Is there anything in particular you want to eat? Suyu smiled. Nothing. Then I'll go to the seafood market and buy you some seafood. I asked the doctor and they said, you can't eat crabs and turtles because you're pregnant, but you can still eat scallops, conches, and prawns. After speaking, Suyu was about to leave. However, Huamin stopped him. Suyu, don't go. I really don't want to eat. Suyu turned his head and looked at her quietly. Chapter 1648. My appetite hasn't been that good lately. I don't know if it's a psychological effect or a pregnancy reaction. Anyways, I feel nauseous whenever I smell something strange. I can't stand the smell of seafood. Don't worry about it. Okay, you have to let me know when you want to eat something. Huamin nodded. Oh, right. Come with me for a second. Okay. Upon hearing Huamin's words, Suyu followed her back to the hospital room. Huamin took out a check and handed it to Suyu. This is an international check. It should be easy for you to withdraw it, or else it would be inconvenient for you to transfer so much money. I don't need it, take it. So you looked at the money. It was the money he used to sponsor Huamin. I have money now. Qin Chu left me a lot of money. I have a lot from the Swiss bank. Even though GK is in custody, Qin Chu told Uncle Qin to give me 5 million yuan every month. So, I really don't need money. I've already paid back all the money you guys gave me. But I asked my assistant, and she said that you took a lot more than what you promised. I have to pay you back. So you glanced at the number on the check. I didn't give you that much. You gave me too much. Take it. It's interest. I told you I didn't want interest. You really... So you complained. Huamin looked at him seriously. I really don't know how else to thank you. You don't need anything, but I really want to thank you. So, I can only use this tacky method. Don't blame me. Do you really want to do this? So you didn't want to take Huamin's money and felt even more uncomfortable when he heard that there was interest. He felt like Huamin was treating him like an outsider, but then again, he was just an outsider. If Qin Chu was here, he would let me do this. I know you don't need money, but it's a token of my appreciation. In the end, Suyu didn't want to make things difficult for Huamin, so he quietly lowered his head and took the check. Then, he carefully put it away. Just as he looked up, he heard Huamin say, Suyu, can I go to the company to take a look? Huamin, your identity is too sensitive right now. You can't. Before Suyu could finish, Huamin nodded. I know. I don't want to go in. I just want you to take me there secretly. That's Qin Chu and my father-in-law's hard work. I'm worried. I want to take a look. Just park the car downstairs and let me take a look. We won't be discovered. Hearing Huamin speak so pitifully, Suyu's heart immediately softened. Let's go. I'll take you there. 45 minutes later, Suyu asked GK to send over a white Range Rover. It was an executive's car, so it wouldn't attract too much attention. Huamin sat in the passenger's seat and looked at the skyscraper with a complicated expression on her face. Suyu knew that she didn't miss the skyscraper. She missed Qin Chu very much, so he didn't disturb her and quietly stayed with her. Even after GK got off work, Huamin still didn't say anything as she watched the employees leave. She saw Bella talking on the phone as she drove away. Yang, on the other hand, looked a lot more lonely than usual. Without Qin Chu, he was just a lonely assistant. After some time, Suyu spoke first. Huamin, it's getting late. You'll be tired if you sit here for too long. Let's go back. Okay. Huamin nodded. On the way back, Huamin was extremely quiet and didn't say a word. His eyes were unfocused, as if he was thinking about something. Suyu didn't dare to interrupt and waited until they arrived at the hospital. Before Suyu left, Huamin said, Can you help me ask them out for dinner tomorrow? I miss them. Chapter 1649. Okay, but they don't have much time during the day. Is it okay after work in the afternoon? Sure. Huamin smiled slightly. In the blink of an eye, Huamin had been staying in a military hospital for more than half a month. She ate and cooked well, but her movements were restricted and she couldn't go out as she pleased. Even when she did go out, she had to be escorted by Suyu. During this time, everyone secretly came to visit, but in order to hide it, Suyu didn't allow them to visit too often. She was afraid that if she was too high profile, she would be targeted. If the media exposed her, it would be troublesome. After all, she was a criminal who was convicted of murder. Jixin came the most, almost every 2 days. Later, he was persuaded by Huamin to go back to New Zealand to study. Huamin's mother, Yang Meirong, repeatedly said that she wanted to come back, but Huamin found a way to delay her. Fortunately, she could video call Huamin. Otherwise, Yang Meirong would really suspect that something had happened to her daughter. In the morning, Huamin woke up and started a simple day. After breakfast, she had a physical checkup. After everything was normal, she listened to music and prenatal education. Then at noon, she took a nap. When she woke up, she went out for a walk. Her days were relaxed and comfortable, but she never smiled from the bottom of her heart. Miss Hua, I heard that you're a doctor too? A young nurse asked as she helped her walk. Yeah, I'm a doctor too. I worked in medical school and university, but I used to be a nurse. Later, I changed my profession. Wow, you're amazing. You're the idol of the nurse world. You're a counterattack, no. I just really like to study these things, and I always learn. The most important thing is that our director is willing to give me the opportunity. At this thought, Huamin suddenly thought of President Wu and her colleagues at Southside. It had been a long time since she went back to see them. She almost forgot that she was a doctor. Miss Hua, let me ask you a question. Don't be angry, okay? Okay. Does young Master Su really like you? Huamin, it's true. Everyone in the hospital knows about it. They all say so. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so worried about you and treat you so well. Young Master Su's family is very powerful. He has many girls in the military base. I heard that young Master Su used to be a soldier, but I've never heard of him having a girlfriend. I've never seen him treat a girl so well. So we're guessing you, too. So you and I are very good friends. Huamin smiled slightly. Huamin's EQ was extremely high. He did not directly answer the nurse's question, but he also did not directly refuse to answer and make things awkward. The young nurse was puzzled by what she heard. He seemed to be a little confused. Dr. Hua, you're married, right? Yes. I heard that your husband is very handsome. Unfortunately, I haven't seen him in person. Yeah, he's really good looking, Huamin said proudly. Then your baby will definitely be fair, rich, and handsome in the future. That's great. The young nurse continued to praise them. Huamin only smiled slightly. In the entire military hospital, many people talked about Huamin in private. She was definitely a hot topic in the military base. She was pregnant and a pretty girl. She was pregnant with twins, but her husband never came. Young Master Su was the only one who accompanied her. It was said that she was a murderer and was bailed out by the military court. However, those who interacted with Huamin all found her to be extremely nice. She was very easygoing and had a very good upbringing. She never got angry and never nagged. She didn't know why she was a heinous murderer. Anyway, there were too many mysteries about her. In the afternoon, when Suyu came to pick up Huamin, he saw her secretly put a red brocade box in her bag. What's that? Suyu curiously poked his head out to take a look. Chapter 1650. Huamin, on the other hand, hid it in his bag, looking extremely mysterious. It's a secret. You'll find out in a bit. Huamin smiled mysteriously. He didn't say much and turned around to leave the room. Suyu was stunned. Then, he followed Huamin out. Everyone arrived as scheduled at a hotel that Suyu had booked in advance. It was a private restaurant owned by Tang Chuan's family. It was private, the environment was good, and the dishes were delicious. Everyone, eat and drink to your heart's content. It's my place. I'll be the host, haha. Tang Chuan was extremely generous. Tang Chuan, Wei Liao, Jiang Xiaowei, Gao Ran, and Zhu Lingling were waiting in a private room. When Suyu and Huamin came in, they saw Tang Chuan joking with everyone. Who's Mr. Tang fooling again? Oh, Lord Su. Come, sit down. How long has it been since you last came to my place? You're actually a doctor who has beck and call. After speaking, Tang Chuan looked at Huamin with a smirk. Huamin smiled awkwardly. In fact, Tang Chuan really wanted to set up Huamin and Suyu because he was an extremely simple person. He was very close to Suyu, so he always hoped that Suyu and Huamin could have a happy ending. In the past, because of Qin Shu, he didn't want to break up the couple. Now that everyone thought that Qin Shu was dead, Suyu definitely had a chance to be with Huamin. Of course, among these people, only Suyu and Wei Liao wanted this because they were Suyu's childhood friends. As for Jiang Xiaowei and Zhu Lingling, as Huamin's best friends, they didn't insist. As long as Huamin was willing, they wouldn't have any objections. As for Qin Shu's good friend, Gao Ran, he selfishly hoped that Huamin could always wait for Qin Shu, even if Qin Shu didn't come back. Although it was a selfish thought, he didn't want Huamin to be with someone else. Everyone had different goals, so it was very lively when they sat together. Tang Chuan was very hospitable and prepared a lot of good food and wine. Shut your crow's mouth. Lin Fan sneered. Afraid that Huamin would feel awkward, Suyu walked over and wrapped his arms around Tang Chuan's neck from behind to stop him from saying anything else. Huamin sat between Jiang Xiaowei and Zhu Lingling. Best friends were very close to each other. Mian, have you been having any pregnancy symptoms recently? I heard that some people will vomit in the early stages of pregnancy. Oh, poor thing, Zhu Lingling asked vividly. I'm fine. As long as it's not a strange or fishy smell, I'm fine. I don't vomit, but my stomach doesn't feel good. Fishy smell? Doesn't that mean you won't be able to eat seafood? Zhu Lingling was stunned. Huamin smiled and nodded. Yeah, I don't eat seafood anymore. Jiang Xiaowei held Huamin's hand. It's okay if you don't eat seafood. It's cold food, and it's not good for pregnant women to eat too much. Listen to me and take care of the baby. Okay. Do you eat folic acid and deep-sea fish oil? Yes. Huamin couldn't help but smile at the thought of the mountain of supplements Suyu bought. That's good. Anyway, it's hard enough for me to have one baby. You must be having a harder time than me with 2 babies. I don't think it's hard. In fact, I'm quite happy. I'm looking forward to the 2 little guys coming out. You 2 are so fast. It seems like my baby will be the youngest brother or sister. Zhu Lingling smiled helplessly. You're not even married yet. Don't think about having children. It's too far away. Huamin smiled. Yeah, Lingling, when are you getting married? Jiang Xiaowei also looked at Zhu Lingling. Chapter 1651. I don't know yet. I'll just muddle along like this for now. It's good this way. People always say that once you get married, you'll be different. It's better when you're not in a relationship. Men are all the same. Before they get married, they're like grandchildren. After they get married, everything is settled, and they're like masters. Isn't there a joke? A couple was eating at a restaurant, and on their way out, the woman accidentally bumped into the glass door. The man said, "Baby, why are you so careless? Does it hurt? I'll rub it for you." They're definitely in love. The man said, "Are you blind? Can't you see such a big glass door for yourself?" They're definitely a married couple. As soon as Zhu Lingling finished speaking, Jiang Xiaowei and Huamin burst out laughing. What are you talking about? Why are you laughing like that? Gao Ran looked over in confusion. This clown of yours, she's so funny. With her around, we'll be able to laugh a lot more. Jiang Xiaowei laughed. Huamin patted Zhu Lingling on the shoulder. Ever since I met this sister of mine, I've been able to laugh a lot more. I feel like I'm a lot younger than my peers. Of course. That's why you're thanking me. You don't even need to use makeup to stay youthful, Zhu Lingling said proudly. The dishes were still being served. There were only 7 of them, but almost 30 dishes were served. And all of them were so delicious. This was the first time Huamin came across a restaurant owned by Tang Chuan. He suddenly felt that Tang Chuan was actually quite an innocent person. Other than the fact that he liked to pick up girls, there was nothing wrong with his character. He was also very friendly to his friends. The men began to drink and chat, while the women talked about popular TV dramas, fashion trends, and even what the 8 p.m. TV drama was about. Suyu looked up and saw Huamin chatting with Zhu Lingling and Jiang Xiaowei, who wasn't too far away. He had a faint smile on his face. He suddenly had the illusion that if Huamian was his wife, she would be his wife. They saw each other day and night and were very loving. Then, they would have small gatherings with their friends every few days. He would probably die of happiness if he lived such a life. He didn't even dare to think about it. During the banquet, after Tang Chuan had a few drinks, he leaned over and whispered into Su Yu's ear, "Lord Su, Qin Chu is dead now, and it seems like he won't be coming back. You should hurry up and chase after him. At this time, Huamin needs company the most. I think she will definitely be touched by your actions. In a year or so, or 3 to 5 years, Huamin will definitely be yours. This is your chance." Shoo. Don't talk nonsense. So he was a little embarrassed. To be honest, haven't you always liked her? In the past, it was because she had a husband. He didn't want to get involved in other people's families. Now that she doesn't have a husband, Don't you want to pursue her? Are you only willing to be friends with her? After Tang Chuan finished speaking, Su Yu was slightly silent. Or do you mind that the 2 children in her belly aren't yours? Of course not, I don't mind, Su Yu immediately explained. Then that's it. If you don't mind the children, then hurry up and chase after her. You don't understand. Well, mean, she's very loyal. She won't easily fall in love with someone else. I think her feelings for Qin Shu are very deep. Su Yu's eyes flashed with a hint of loneliness as he said this. Are you stupid? You're such a smart person. How could you not know that time is the cruelest thing? It can erase all memories and heal all wounds. Qin Shu's death may be a blow to Huan Mian right now, but as time passes, she'll forget about it. She'll definitely be able to accept you. Don't be so unconfident in yourself, okay? After all, you're a dragon among men. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.